stage lights glittered. The MC's voice boomed. And the best actress of the year is... The spotlight immediately focused on two prominent actresses. The MC continued, "Is Hichi?" A ripple of discontent passed through the other nominees as they exchanged glances. This MC was playing a dangerous game. Which Hichi? Two Hichis? The first, Gu Hichi, was a classically trained actress with undeniable talent, but seemingly plagued by misfortune. A skilled performer with a solid foundation, she had been nominated 2 years running, yet remained empty-handed. Though her face was composed, her grip on her gown tightened with anxiety. The second, Ku Hichi, possessed striking features and A-list status. An A-lister with incredible luck, she'd skyrocketed to fame after debuting in director Lee Si-jia Lee's film. And just like that, she became a celebrated actress. Now, the MC announced Ku Hichi. Let's give her a round of applause. The spotlight found its target, illuminating the star of the evening. Gu Hichi felt a pang of regret. Ku Hichi rose, a triumphant smile gracing her lips as she made her way to the stage. Their names differed by a single character, yet their circumstances were worlds apart. Amidst the thunderous applause, Gu Hichi sank into her thoughts. If Ku Hichi hadn't snatched that role from her years ago, she could have been the one accepting the award. The memory of comparative articles, pitting them against each other, resurfaced. Because of our similar names, I'm constantly compared to her, she thought bitterly. They used the most flowery language to praise her. The injustice stung. The thrice-rejected nominee felt a fresh wave of resentment, while using the harshest words to belittle me. Her manager, Hat leaned in. After Ku Hichi accepts her award, it's your turn to host. Get ready. On stage, Ku Hichi stood tall and aloof before the cheering crowd. Ignoring the excitement around her, Gu Hichi looked up, dejected. I see it, she thought, observing Ku Hichi's gaze. That love-struck look, she's looking at me. Wait, is there some juicy gossip I've missed? Outsida, hat trailed behind Gu Hichi. Are you sure you're not going to the after-party? You're in the same company as Ku Hichi. If you don't go, the paparazzi will spin it into some feud. Gu Hichi scoffed. We are feuding. Hat exasperated, fell silent. By the car park, a voice called out. Gu Hichi, I've been looking everywhere for you. Ku Hichi approached, followed by her entourage. I had to ask security to find you here. A true professional. Gu Hichi, maintaining her composure, asked, Ku Hichi, is there something I can help you with? Ku Hichi stepped closer, a friendly smile on her face. Your performance just now was amazing. I heard CEO True is going to commission the famous Japanese composer, Anda, to write an album for you. She leaned in conspiratorially, her voice dropping to a murmur. Congratulations. Gu Hichi bristled, her eyebrows furrowing. This vixen, I'm not a man. Why are you flirting with me? She thought. Gu Hichi, don't you like it? Well, we do. Confused, she glanced behind Ku Hichi. Two figures held cameras, snapping pictures. Paparazzi again. A mischievous glint entered Gu Hichi's eyes. A plan formed. She took Ku Hichi's hand. I'm a bit busy, she purred, leaning in close, mirroring Ku Hichi's earlier gesture. So, I won't be able to make it to the after-party tonight. Thank you for the invitation. The paparazzi whispered excitedly. Did she just call Ku Hichi older sister? Another hissed, revealing a celebrity's age. This is provocation. This is going to be trending. Having executed her scheme, Gu Hichi brushed her hands together and walked away. No press allowed. Ku Hichi, still reeling from the unexpected intimacy, watched her go. She followed Gu Hichi to a quieter area. Gu Hichi, finally dropping the facade, turned and demanded, How do you know my nickname? Ku Hichi replied calmly, That's not important. I want to talk to you privately. Gu Hichi opened her car door. We have nothing to talk about. Ku Hichi swiftly placed a hand against the door, preventing it from closing. Gu Hichi stared, bewildered, as Ku Hichi leaned in, closing the distance between them to mere centimeters. Ku Hichi, without another word, leaned in, her lips parting as if to kiss Gu Hichi. Gu Hichi instinctively recoiled, pushing Ku Hichi away. Ku Hichi, momentarily stunned, took a step back and spoke softly. Gu Hichi, please don't be angry with me. Seeing Gu Hichi push her away again, Ku Hichi looked bewildered. I just want to know why you dislike me so much. Gu Hichi let out a short, sharp laugh. Dislike you? Why would I dislike you? She continued, her voice dripping with sarcasm. You're so talented, so young, and already a best actress. You even look like Deji. You completely captivated my useless ex-boyfriend. You're a fox spirit in human form. How could I not like a fox spirit? Kuhichi blushed, swallowing hard at the venomous words. Guhichi turned and stepped into her car. Kuhichi, I have an appointment. I can't talk any longer. Kuhichi, still confused, asked, an appointment? Guhichi replied curtly, yes. She slid into the driver's seat and slammed the door. See you tomorrow. With that, Guhichi drove off, leaving Kuhichi standing alone, lost in thought. Calling me Kuhichi, she likes talking tough, doesn't she? She's clearly younger than me. A small smile played on Kuhichi's lips as she pulled out her phone. CEO, true, she said, her voice taking on a steely edge. I want to suspend all my film project for this year. A pause. No particular reason. I just want to join the cast of Forgotten Crossing, the film Guhichi just signed on for. Another pause. Yes, I'll play the male lead. One more thing. Do you know who Guhichi has been dating recently? A beat. An image of Kuhichi flashed on the screen. It was a magazine cover featuring Kuhichi. Take a look at this, True Lin said. Guhichi took the magazine, her face contorting in frustration. Her again. Why does this woman keep haunting me? True Lin, CEO of the talent agency, asked, what do you think? Guhichi tossed the magazine onto the table. I don't care. Did you call me here just to show me this? True Lin calmly replied, of course not. I called you in to tell you that director Kwong has decided to cast Kuhichi in Forgotten Crossing. Guhichi exploded. Cast her. She jumped up and lunged towards True Lin. What about me? I spent 6 months preparing for this film. How can they just replace me like that? True Lin, startled, responded, calm down. Kuhichi isn't taking your female lead role. Guhichi sank back in her chair. Then what role is she playing? True Lin answered, the male lead. Guhichi stared blankly, confused. The male lead? But she's a woman. Why would she play a male role? True Lin explained calmly. It's a cross-dressing role. Director Kwong was impressed with her androgynous look. Guhichi covered her mouth in disbelief. But if she's playing the male lead, that means we'll have a lot of intimate scenes. Oh my god, this is going to be awkward. Guhichi despaired, running her hands through her hair. Intimate scenes. She lunged towards True Lin again. I'd rather drop out than work with her. The words left her mouth, and she instantly regretted them, biting her lip. She stood up and crossed her arms, fuming. If anyone's leaving, it should be her, not me. I've been preparing for this film for so long. I'm not giving up my role. True Lin hid a smile. How you film is your business. I'm just informing you, not asking for your opinion. You can go now. Guhichi scowled and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. Fine, I'll go. As she stepped out, her mind raced. This isn't over. I won't let her get away with this. The elevator dinged, signaling its arrival. The doors opened, revealing half of Kuhichi's face. Kuhichi maintained a neutral expression as the doors fully opened. Her eyes lit up upon seeing Guhichi. Guhichi, in turn, frowned, her animosity towards Kuhichi evident. Despite her displeasure, Guhichi forced a smile and greeted Kuhichi. What a coincidence running into you, Kuhichi. I was just looking for you. There's something I need to talk to you about. Kuhichi responded cheerfully. Oh, what is it, Guhichi? Guhichi took Kuhichi's hand. Kuhichi, a slight blush coloring her cheeks, followed Guhichi, her gaze soft and expectant. Come with me, Guhichi said, leading her away. Leading Kuhichi to the fire escape, Guhichi asked, Kuhichi, have you heard from CEO True yet? You're going to be in Forgotten Crossing. A popular star with such great resources like you. Why lower yourself to act in that film? Guhichi leaned against the wall, her voice hardening. I bet you have ulterior motives. Kuhichi's not listening to anything now. Only 2 words echo in her mind. So close. Guhichi continued, stepping closer to Kuhichi. Your silence means you admit it, right? I knew it. What are you really up to? Kuhichi finally spoke as Guhichi continued to advance. Guhichi, you're getting closer. The dynamic shifted. Kuhichi reached out, gently tucking a strand of Guhichi's hair behind her ear, then looked at her with a suggestive gaze. Actually, she trailed off, blushing and looking away. It's because of you that I wanted to join Forgotten Crossing. Guhichi, her face flushing, looked bewildered. Because of me? She asked, surprised. Guhichi pushed Kuhichi's hand away. As I thought, you're playing games with me. Kuhichi looked at her calmly. Guhichi, I just want to be friends with you after this collaboration. Guhichi frowned, her expression skeptical. Do you think I'll believe you? Kuhichi smiled gently. Believe it or not, it doesn't matter. I'll prove it with my actions. Guhichi retorted. Our collaboration is already decided. I expect you to accept that. Guhichi placed her hands on her hips defiantly. No way. Whatever tricks you're trying to pull, I won't let you succeed. Just you wait. On the first day of filming, the director angrily yelled, "Who told you to add lines to my script?" A voice interjected, "I think it's good." The added lines fit the character's personality perfectly. Seeing it was Guhichi, Director Kwong softened slightly. The filming hasn't officially started yet. What are you doing here? Guhichi sat down, her expression anxious. Director Kwong, I think choosing Duong-do for the male lead role initially was a good idea. Kuhichi is a woman. There's a big risk in using a body double. Director Kwong replied, I don't have control over this. The contract is already signed. Besides, with Kuhichi's influence and acting skills, the risk is worth it. Guhichi, I know you haven't accepted working with Kuhichi yet, but let's be professional. Besides, don't you want to prove yourself? Let everyone see that even standing next to Kuhichi, your acting skills won't be overshadowed. Guhichi sat quietly, listening to the lecture. After a moment, as if enlightened, she jumped up. Of course, I won't be overshadowed by her. On the contrary, I'll make her look overshadowed. Director Kwong patted her shoulder. I know you're a good actress. You can go now. Guhichi, brimming with renewed energy, replied, Yes, Director Kwong. I'll go prepare. A fire lit within her. Just you wait, Kuhichi. The director nodded in agreement. He then leisurely sipped his tea. Reverse psychology always works on Guhichi. A few days later, on set, costumes and accessories were already prepared. Looking at Guhichi, Tru Lin, her assistant, couldn't help but exclaim, the makeup is so beautiful. Guhichi frowned, replying, It's all right. Then, turning to look at the opposite side, she gasped. Kuhichi looks so good dressed as a man. Red really suits her. Guhichi fumed. Hey, I'm the actress you're in charge of. She finished her sentence, then stole another glance. Let's see. How beautiful can she be? Definitely not as beautiful as me. And then, a painful realization struck her. Guhichi blushed, staring at Kuhichi, mesmerized. Oh my god. Looking at Kuhichi's appearance, even I want to be the female lead. Guhichi's thoughts raced. Her makeup, it seems quite something. But, after barely 3 seconds, Guhichi turned her head away coldly. But that's it. I'm also very beautiful. At that moment, Director Kwong called out, Actors, gather around. We're starting soon. A clap rang out, and the director shouted, Action. The first scene was in a bamboo forest. Kuhichi, playing the young master, hurriedly chased after Guhichi, playing Liu Xianzi. Annoyed, Guhichi didn't turn around. What is it? Kuhichi pleaded. Why did Liu Xianzi come to Forgotten Crossing? Guhichi finally turned, her voice cold. I came to see Man Ba. I didn't expect to disturb Nak Bak, Quan missing his deceased wife. She turned to leave. Well, I'll be going now. Kuhichi quickly grabbed her hand. Wait! Tears welled in Guhichi's eyes. Kuhichi pulled her into a tight embrace. Their eyes met, locked in a gaze. Kuhichi whispered, Liu Xianzi has never bothered me. Guhichi blushed. Kuhichi. Then, the world seemed to fall away. They slowly leaned closer, their lips just centimeters apart. Guhichi internally complained. Why is it always a kiss scene in the first take? Her thoughts were interrupted as their lips met in a passionate kiss. Even though it was just a scene, Guhichi couldn't help but blush. She silently grumbled. It's just a kiss scene. Why does the camera have to capture every single detail so perfectly? Guhichi's face flushed. Why hasn't the director yelled cut yet? This kiss is too long. I can't breathe. It'll be fine if I act out the next scene now, right? Suddenly, Kuhichi's hand reached up and touched Guhichi's neck. Caught off guard, Guhichi didn't react, confused but compliant. Then her eyes widened in surprise. Kuhichi's tongue had darted out. Guhichi's inner fox was outraged. That's not in the script. She shoved Kuhichi away forcefully, losing control of her strength. Kuhichi stumbled backward, losing her footing on the set's boat. What's happening? As Kuhichi fell into the water, everyone panicked. Guhichi pushed Kuhichi. Seeing this, Guhichi quickly reached out to grab her, but she missed by a hair's breadth. A splash echoed, and Guhichi stared down in horror. Someone save her. Hurry. Where's the rescue team? She clutched her hands. Will she be all right? Kuhichi thrashed in the water. Then she surfaced, gasping for air. The crew rushed to the edge of the set, ready to help her out. Kuhichi glared at them. Don't touch me. I can get out myself. Gu-Hichi breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness she's okay. Someone accused Gu-Hichi. What did you do to Ku-Hichi? Why did you push her into the water? Gu-Hichi panicked. I didn't do it on purpose. She wasn't following the script during the kiss scene. I just wanted her to let go of me. I didn't mean to push her that hard. They pressed her further. Ku-Hichi was following the script. Gu-Hichi retorted, embarrassed. The script clearly said the kiss should be a light, dragonfly skimming the water kind of kiss. Director Kwong intervened. All right, everyone, stop arguing. This is my fault. The original script did indeed call for a light kiss, but I thought that wouldn't convey the complex emotions of Yumin to Kwon realizing that Liu Yu is his reincarnated wife. So I changed it to a deep kiss. Gu-Hichi stared, stunned. Director Kwong continued. I didn't tell you beforehand because I wanted a natural reaction, but I didn't expect such a strong one. Thankfully, Ku-Hichi is alright. Gu-Hichi clenched her fists, filled with regret. So, she wasn't intentionally trying to one-up me. Director Kwong turned and scolded the others. Did everyone hear that? Gu-Hichi didn't push Ku-Hichi intentionally, so stop spreading rumors. He looked at Gu-Hichi. But for the sake of future cooperation, we all need to apologize to Ku-Hichi. Understand? Gu-Hichi pondered, head bowed. Apologize to my rival? How can I bring myself to do that? A knock came at the door. It's Gu-Hichi, she said hesitantly. Is Ku-Hichi in there? Ku-Hichi quickly opened the door. Gu-Hichi's eyes widened at the sight of Ku-Hichi in a form-fitting bodysuit. It's me, Gu-Hichi stammered. Ku-Hichi gestured her inside. Komin, what did you need to see me about, Gu-Hichi? Gu-Hichi forced a smile. Sister Ku, if you're free, how about we grab a meal together? My treat. She said this, but inwardly thought. Inviting her to dinner counts as an apology, right? Ku-Hichi gently declined. I'm sorry, Gu-Hichi, but I haven't eaten out in 3 years. Gu-Hichi's forced smile faltered. Then Ku-Hichi propped her chin on her hand, a seductive glint in her eyes. But I think I'll make an exception for you. Gu-Hichi brightened. So, what do you want to eat? Ku-Hichi replied with a faint smile. I only eat vegetarian food. Half an hour later, Gu-Hichi wheeled in a tray of food. I went to the kitchen myself to supervise the preparation of these dishes. I guarantee they're clean, fresh, and delicious. The matsutake mushroom soup you wanted? I made it myself. If you don't mind, you could try it. She beamed. Eat up. After you're done, I have something to tell you. Ku-Hichi said indulgently. Gu-Hichi, just say what you want to say. Gu-Hichi, taking the cue, replied without hesitation. Well, I won't beat around the bush. I just feel that you had a hard time this morning, Sister Ku. I just wanted to check on you, that's all. Ku-Hichi understood. You're still feeling guilty about this morning, so you personally came to cook for me, right? Gu-Hichi responded sheepishly. If I had known it was the director's idea, I wouldn't have pushed you. Ku-Hichi said softly. Okay, but I hope you can agree to one thing as compensation. Gu-Hichi was puzzled. What is it? Ku-Hichi leaned closer. Gu-Hichi, come a little closer. Gu-Hichi innocently moved closer. Ku-Hichi said suggestively, I want, then teasingly blew gently on Gu-Hichi's hand. Flustered, Gu-Hichi blurted out, Sister Ku, what are you doing? Ku-Hichi lightly touched her lips, a wistful look in her eyes. I want to kiss you. Gu-Hichi, bewildered, asked what? Ku-Hichi chuckled. A kiss for a fall into the water. It's a fair trade, don't you think? If you stay silent, I'll take that as a yes. As soon as she finished speaking, she pulled Gu-Hichi closer. Then, she quickly pecked Gu-Hichi on the neck. Gu-Hichi stammered, flustered, Ku-Hichi. Then, frowning, she looked at Ku-Hichi. Are you crazy? Gu-Hichi, her face flushed, retorted. No, I'm the crazy one for coming here to make peace with you. You're teasing me, aren't you? With that, she stormed off, fuming. The next day, on set, while Gu-Hichi was on the phone, Assistant Tru Lin looked at Ku-Hichi and said, although the director posted a clarification about Ku-Hichi falling into the lake, there's still a lot of people watching you. Ku-Hichi's influence is considerable. At this point, Gu-Hichi said loudly in annoyance, let them do what they want. The voice on the other end of the line said, hello? Why aren't you arguing back? It was Luan Yu, Gu-Hichi's close friend and fellow actress. Did Ku-Hichi do something to you last night? Gu-Hichi said angrily, she kissed my neck, but I understand now. She doesn't like me, that's why she joined the film I'm in. What challenging herself? Clearly, she's mixing business with pleasure. Lauget, saying that will only make people jealous, not sympathetic. It's Kuhichi we're talking about. Guhichi, ever the superstitious one, clasped her hands together in prayer. I pray to the heavens, whoever wants to be treated like this by Kuhichi, please take my place. I don't want it. You burst out laughing. You silly goose. But I do agree with you on one thing. Kuhichi is mixing business with pleasure. But what that pleasure is hard to say. At this moment, True Lin said, get ready to shoot. There's a kissing scene today, too. Don't overreact, okay? Guhichi said irritably. I'm a professional actress, okay? As long as Kuhichi is acting in character, I'll cooperate. Director Kwong called out. Let's begin. The scene quickly started. Kuhichi called out. Luyu. Guhichi, immersed in her role, replied shyly. I'm of a certain age now. Considering our positions, you should address me as Aunt. Please remember this, Jade, White, Immortal Lord, and don't be so disrespectful again. Kuhichi, playing Nakba Kwan, reached out and took her hand. I won't call you Aunt. Poor Aunt. Kuhichi muttered. Nakba Kwan, you're not being very lovable right now. Director Kwong said with satisfaction, very good. Kuhichi's eyelids fluttered slightly, as if speaking her character's inner thoughts. Luyu, what must I do for you to understand my feelings? Guhichi could feel it. How could Kuhichi's eyes convey such depth of emotion? It was as if she was both afraid of her beloved seeing through her and afraid they wouldn't understand. Guhichi's thoughts were a chaotic mess. This was the power of a seasoned actress. Guhichi told herself to stay calm. She couldn't lose. At this moment, Kuhichi leaned in and whispered. Guhichi closed her eyes, immersing herself in the scene. Thankfully, she had confirmed multiple times that today's kiss scene wouldn't involve tongues. A small sigh of relief escaped her. Then, blushing, she pulled away from Kuhichi's lips. The scene was over, right? Kuhichi, playing the gentle Kuk, gazed at Guhichi with affection, leaving her utterly bewildered. Then, Kuhichi turned to Director Kwong. Excuse me, Director Kwong. The light was a bit glaring during the kiss. Could we take a short break and then try again? The director reviewed the footage. The expression just now wasn't quite natural. He then announced, take a short break. We'll reshoot in a bit. Later, Xiao Ku, move a little to the right. Guhichi, move a little to the left. Kuhichi looked at Guhichi with a playful grin. So sorry, Guhichi, we have to reshoot the kiss scene. Guhichi pouted. She's doing this on purpose. Kuhichi responded with a doting Guhichi gave Kuhichi an appraising look. Forget it, I'm too tired to argue with her. Then she said, you acted very well. Kuhichi watched Guhichi walk away, a secret smile playing on her lips. Guhichi is so cute. And then 4 hours of filming passed. During that time, the kiss scene was res hot 10 times. After wrapping up, Guhichi returned to her room and looked in the mirror, noticing her slightly swollen lips. She yelled in frustration, my lips are swollen from all that kissing. Her resentment grew with each word. I definitely won't let Kuhichi get away with this. Her outburst startled 2 sparrows perched outside her window. Just then, the phone in her hotel room began to ring incessantly. Guhichi answered, hello. The voice on the other end said, Guhichi, it's Xiao Li, your manager. Could you please inform Kuhichi in room B that the filming location is changing tomorrow? We've booked 8 a.m. flights for the cast and crew. I've called both her mobile and landline, but she hasn't answered. Guhichi inwardly scoffed. Why do I still have to deal with her after work? But she replied politely, no problem. I'll go over there in a bit. Guhichi left her room, a question nagging at her. Come to think of it, why isn't a big star like Kuhichi staying in the presidential suite and demanding special treatment? She's surprisingly down to earth. She arrived at Kuhichi's door. After a moment of hesitation, she reached for the door and it swung open. Why isn't it locked? How careless of her. It's quite dangerous being a woman alone. As she stepped inside, she stumbled upon a dramatic scene. After 6 years, you still can't accept me? If it weren't for me, would you have even made it into showbiz? Guhichi, now an unwitting spectator, speculated, isn't that Lam Nhui, the 2-star celebrity? Why is she saying, I love you to Kuhichi? Wait a minute. Guhichi couldn't help but curse internally. Lam Nhui, the fallen A-list actress from 6 years ago, is confessing to Kuhichi? Kuhichi replied, I've always been grateful for your help, but I don't love women. Guhichi, eavesdropping outside, started to feel guilty. Maybe listening in on their private conversation isn't such a good idea. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from within the room. Guhichi's eyes widened in surprise. Lam and Hey had pinned Kuhichi against the wall. Kuhichi pleaded, Lam, if I please, let me go. Lam and Hey began to touch and kiss Kuhichi repeatedly. Why can't I kiss you? That Guhichi can, so why can't I? Just then, Guhichi stepped in to break up the scene. Kuhichi is only in room B. Hearing someone's voice, the two women in the room startled. Kuhichi pushed Lam and Hey away. Guiki, come in. Upon hearing this, Guhichi pushed the door open and entered. Lam Nui, what are you doing here? What a coincidence. Despite her cheerful facade, Guhichi was seething inside. Still trying to pull that on me? If it weren't for me, you would have committed a crime, understand? Lam and Hey, ignoring her, stormed off in a huff. Seeing this, Kuhichi spoke up. Sister Lam, consider today's incident as repayment for your past kindness. I won't hold it against you anymore, but I hope you understand that from now on, we can only be acquaintances, our relationship as plain as water. Lam and Hey turned back to Kuhichi. Ciao Ku, I like you, as long as you're still single. She gripped the door handle tightly as she spoke. Then I won't give up. Guhichi, observing this, wondered, is Kuhichi really that attractive? With that final declaration, Lam and Hey slammed the door shut, leaving the two women in the room to silently look at each other. Kuhichi, her brow furrowed in distress, said, Thank you, Guhichi. Guhichi, her face flushing at Kuhichi's gaze, thought, she's a true vixen. No wonder her love life is such a mess. Kuhichi then said with a smile, I know you heard the commotion and came here specifically to help me. Guhichi raised an eyebrow. Good that you know. You're welcome, I guess. Please show a little gratitude, and don't deliberately try to kiss me again. Internally, Guhichi's inner little fox screamed, Wait a minute, am I really just going to let her off the hook for that? Seeing Guhichi's expression, Kuhichi chuckled. Guhichi, her lips pursed in annoyance, glared at her. Kuhichi laughed heartily. Guhichi, you're so adorable and kind. But the little fox's attention was drawn to the scratch on Kuhichi's neck. Then she said, Let's take care of that wound first. Secretly, the little fox rejoiced. Serves you right. Kuhichi, switching in a teasing mode, moved closer to Guhichi. Could I ask you to stay and help me with this, Guhichi? Inside the bedroom, Guhichi rummaged through the supplies, looking for antiseptic. Kuhichi sat on the bed, giving directions. Yes, that's the ointment right there. Guhichi handed her the tube, her head full of questions. What's going on? She can do this herself. What help would I even give her that warrant staying? We're rivals. Kuhichi paused, ointment in hand, as she heard Guhichi say, Get some rest. I should go now. Then, applying the ointment to her wound, she looked at Guhichi. Actually, I've been in the entertainment industry for a long time, but I still haven't made any truly trustworthy friends. I know you don't like me, Guhichi, and I don't expect you to change your opinion of me overnight. I just hope you believe. Intrigued, Guhichi turned back. Kuhichi continued that I haven't had any malicious intentions towards you from the beginning. Rarely, Guhichi agreed to stay. Could you sit and listen to me for a bit, Guhichi? Guhichi replied, Kuhichi, it's boring when you say a bunch of useless things I can't believe. If you want me to sit, I'll sit. There were no chairs in the bedroom. I guess I'll just sit on your bed then. The little fox, flustered, deliberately kept her distance. Kuhichi looked at her happily. Thank you for staying, Guhichi. Guhichi, hearing this, remained silent, then turned her face away. Same thing I said before. If you're truly grateful, then stop doing malicious things to me. Kuhichi looked confused. Do you mean the kiss, Guhichi, or the fact that I stole your role? Guhichi, both annoyed and embarrassed, replied, Of course I'm talking about you stealing my role. But her inner little fox, having just screamed in indignation, suddenly brought up the kiss. Aren't you embarrassed? Kuhichi explained, I've always wanted to explain this to you. I didn't steal your role back then. The male lead, Chu Tich, has always had a specific principle. He doesn't film with actresses born in April. He's an excellent actor with a lot of experience in this industry. Whether it's the producers or the director, nobody wants to offend him. So replacing you is unavoidable. It was just a coincidence that they chose me. The media deliberately played up the rivalry between us for the role, because they didn't want to offend someone higher up. I knew this a year or two ago, but I couldn't say anything and I didn't want to. Guhichi looked at her incredulously. Really? Guhichi continued. But now I think I have to clear my name. Guhichi replied, I'll tentatively believe you about this. Then, blushing, she added, so what about the other thing? Guhichi looked confused. What other thing? Hearing this, Guhichi, exasperated, lunged forward. What about the incident involving Naktrin? You can't explain that clearly to me, can you? Guhichi stammered, oh, then turned her face away, avoiding eye contact. That matter? I really can't explain clearly to you. The little fox within Guhichi eyed her suspiciously. Seeing Guhichi at a loss for words, Guhichi pressed on. So you're speechless, huh? Guhichi suddenly turned back. I can only say two things. First, Naktrin isn't worth your affection. Second, I've never dated him. Guhichi raised an eyebrow in disbelief. Aren't you saying that you painstakingly pulled him away from me, actually to save me from being blindly infatuated with that playboy? Do you think anyone would believe that? Guhichi, looking uncomfortable, tucked her hair behind her ear. I admit I had ulterior motives. I didn't want to see you with someone who fundamentally wasn't worthy of you. Guhichi turned her face away, replying, saying all that is just making excuses for yourself. But it's fine. You don't need to worry about my opinion of you. I didn't come here tonight to turn our rivalry into friendship. We're both women, so I didn't want to leave you alone at a time like this. Guhichi, hearing this, fell silent and lowered her head, making Guhichi curious. Why is she so quiet? Did I speak too harshly? The black fox within her spoke up. Guhichi, are you trying to be a saint? The kind white fox approached. I'm just worried she'll overthink things after hearing what I said. Guhichi then stole a glance at Guhichi. Seeing her still silent, Guhichi sighed and said, all right, let's not talk about this anymore. From now on, you need to remember this. Maintain your distance from others. You're like a vixen yourself, so don't you know you need to be wary of both men and women? Guhichi looked pleased. She's concerned about me. Guhichi stood up, adopting a lecturing tone. Bringing people into your bedroom to talk is not a smart move. You won't always be lucky enough to escape unscathed like this. Guhichi obediently replied, you're right, Guhichi. You really are a good person. Hearing this, Guhichi furrowed her brow. Of course I'm a good person. It's getting late. I should go. Don't forget your 8 a.m. flight tomorrow. Internally, she scoffed. Do you need to give me a good person card? Just then, Guhichi grabbed her hand. Wait a moment. Guhichi, losing patience, replied, what do you want now? Guhichi looked at her captivatingly. One last request, Guhichi. Could you wait a little longer? Wait until I fall asleep before you leave. Guhichi frowned, helpless. Are you sure this is the last thing? The obedient little fox within Guhichi responded, 5 minutes later, Guhichi cautiously whispered, Guhichi, have you fallen asleep? Guhichi replied, not yet. 10 minutes later, Guhichi, unable to resist any longer, started yawning. Guhichi, are you asleep? She quickly added, I'm not asleep yet. 20 minutes later, it was Guhichi who fell asleep first. Guhichi looked at her with a fond smile. Then, she gently touched Guhichi's neck. Silly girl. She then rolled over, hovering over the sleeping fox. Such a pity. Guhichi paused, then pulled back, returning to her original position, obediently propping herself up to watch Guhichi sleep. After all these years, you haven't changed a bit, not in personality or appearance. Then, she remembered Guhichi's cheerful expression. Even your smile is exactly the same. She gently caressed Guhichi's cheek. You should smile more in the future. I'll try my best to make you happy. Then, her gaze fell upon the dazzling necklace around Guhichi's neck. Guhichi's expression turned sorrowful. True Lin said that it was a necklace given to her by her first love at the age of 16. No matter how important the event, she wouldn't take it off. She's still wearing it now? Thinking this, she gently removed the necklace, then stared at it for a long time. I don't like seeing her wearing another man's things. She raised her hand, intending to throw it, but stopped. No, this is her memory. She then pulled open a drawer and carefully placed the necklace inside. Turning her head back, she murmured, I'll give you a new one. The next morning, a gentle breeze rustled the curtains. After a long sleep, Guhichi finally woke up. Guhichi's sharp features were the first thing she saw. Gu-Hichi cried out in alarm. Ah! Gu-Hichi jolted awake. Gu-Hichi, what are you doing? She stammered, trembling slightly. Why are we sleeping together? Gu-Hichi chuckled at her reaction. Is that what you're worried about? She sat up and explained. Last night, you leaned against the headboard and fell asleep. I didn't want to disturb you, so I let you sleep. We're both women, so what's the big deal about sleeping together? Gu-Hichi immediately retorted. Of course it's a big deal. I haven't shared a bed with anyone since I was 8 years old. Gu-Hichi playfully added. So, in other words, after you turned 8, the only person you've shared a bed with is me? Gu-Hichi pushed Gu-Hichi away. What kind of logic is that? That's not the point. Besides, what's done is done. Complaining won't change anything. She slipped on her shoes. It's getting late. I need to pack my things. She crossed her arms and looked at Gu-Hichi, a hint of annoyance in her voice. You have an early flight too, remember? Gu-Hichi's inner fox bristled, seeing Gu-Hichi grinning from ear to ear. What's she so happy about? At precisely 8 a.m., the plane took off. Everyone quickly landed at the airport and headed to the next filming location. Gu-Hichi, holding an ice pack in her left hand and pulling her suitcase with her right, grumbled, "Where's a trash can? I should just throw this ice pack away. I'm carrying too much stuff." She looked at the ice pack hesitantly, remembering Gu-Hichi's expression when she gave it to her. I checked the weather, and it's going to be really hot these next 2 days. You should be careful about sun protection, Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi had pressed the ice pack in her hand. I prepared this for you. Gu-Hichi clutched the ice pack. I guess I'll just take it back to my room. Why is she being so thoughtful? She must know there are paparazzi around. This is all for show. Gu-Hichi pondered. The possibility of her genuinely caring is only 50%. But I have to admit, she's a good actress. We've been filming for days, and she hasn't used her fame and influence to bully anyone. Maybe I should reconsider my opinion of her. She recalled their conversation in Gu-Hichi's room the night before. Gu-Hichi, I just want to use this collaboration as an opportunity to become friends with you. Gu-Hichi tightened her grip on the ice pack. I shouldn't be so hostile towards her. Just then, she overheard a conversation. Gu-Hichi is in room K13, right? Yeah, right next to Gu-Hichi's room. Gu-Hichi leaned in to eavesdrop on the 2 staff members. I hate that girl. She's always clinging to Gu-Hichi. She's so desperate to be famous. The other one replied, I heard she had plastic surgery. She didn't look this pretty when she debuted. The first one agreed. Of course she had plastic surgery. How else would she be popular? She's clearly not on the same level as Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi froze. So that's how everyone sees me. Even though we're like fire and water, they still think I'm intentionally trying to ride her coattails. The hotel staff suddenly turned around, and Gu-Hichi quickly straightened up and hid around the corner. When she heard their footsteps fading away, she breathed a sigh of relief. Good thing they didn't come over here. She looked at the ice pack in her hand, a self-deprecating smile on her face. I was overthinking things. What's so great about Gu-Hichi anyway? With that thought, she decisively tossed the ice pack into a nearby bin and pulled her suitcase inside. We can only maintain our distance. Suddenly, Gu-Hichi's phone buzzed with a notification. On Weibo, people were excited. Your image and our little Qs are so perfect for the movie poster. I can't wait to see this epic battle. Beautiful lady, you're so gorgeous. No wonder our little Q praised you. I thought you were average before, but after seeing you today, I've become a fan. Gu-Hichi scrolled through the comments with a sigh. Why is my Weibo full of Gu-Hichi's fans? Then, her eyes widened in surprise. She stared at her phone. It was a status update from Gu-Hichi's manager, featuring a picture from their new film. Gu-Hichi collapsed onto the bed in exasperation. I just want to keep my distance. Why is she promoting me? She frowned at her phone. This is so annoying. Can we just not get involved with each other anymore? Suddenly, her phone rang. She answered hello. A voice on the other end said, Auntie Hichi, it's E. I'm near your hotel right now. Hearing this, Gu-Hichi excitedly shot up from the bed. E, why are you here? Her inner fox danced with wild abandon. Could it be that the little rascal misses her auntie? The child, standing under the blazing sun, furrowed her brow and said, Hee, I came to visit you, auntie. I wanted to ask you to get Gu-Hichi's autograph for me. Gu-Hichi deflated. Gu-Hichi again? Why does her name keep popping up in my life? Little E continued. Andy, my friend and I traveled for over an hour to get here. It's so hot out here, we're practically melting. melting. Please help us, Annie. If you don't, then I'll just stand here and wait, he finished, her voice firm. I won't leave until I get her autograph. Even if I get sunstroke, I won't go. You don't care about me anyway. Each word pierced Gu-Hichi's heart. Indignant, she retorted, are you taking advantage of my affection for you, young lady? The little fox within Gu-Hichi felt deeply wounded. Fine, Annie, fine. Just go. A moment later, Gu-Hichi opened her door. Gu-Hichi avoided her gaze, feeling awkward. Gu-Hichi, I have a favor to ask. Gu-Hichi beamed. Anything, Gu-Hichi, just ask. Gu-Hichi held out a diary plastered with pictures of Gu-Hichi. I like your autograph. My stubborn niece begged me. She and her friend are huge fans of yours. Gu-Hichi seized the opportunity. An autograph? Sure, but I have 3 conditions, Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi bristled. Gu-Hichi, do you know the saying to drop a stone down a well? Gu-Hichi replied cheerfully, it's not that serious. Why are you always thinking the worst of me, Gu-Hichi? Gu-Hichi retorted, with you, I have to consider the worst-case scenario, and one condition is already pushing it. 3. Do you think I'm a fool? Gu-Hichi's smile widened. You have another option, Gu-Hichi. You could just sign my name in the album yourself and give it to your niece. Gu-Hichi spun around. Don't even dream of it. But she stopped short, remembering the little girl's crestfallen face. Auntie, you can't go back on your word. Her spirits plummeted. Thinking of this, she grimaced. Gu-Hichi, you're good. She turned back. Fine, tell me your conditions. As long as they don't violate my principles, I'll do my best. Gu-Hichi replied calmly. Come inside, Gu-Hichi. I'll sign it in my room. Once inside, as she signed, she asked, just a signature? Do you want me to write anything else? Mentioning her niece, Gu-Hichi brightened. Right, wishing Wang-Yi good health, happiness, and everlasting joy. Gu-Hichi commented, your niece is so adorable and sincere. Every page is filled with rare photos. It must have taken a lot of effort to collect them. Gu-Hichi replied, a touch defensively. Of course she's adorable. She's my niece. Inwardly, her fox pouted. If she weren't, I wouldn't be running around like this for her. Gu-Hichi added, that's right. She's Gu-Hichi's little princess, so of course she's adorable. Gu-Hichi preened. You just wanted to compliment me, didn't you? As they walked to the door, Gu-Hichi said, I'll see you out, Gu-Hichi. I have some errands to run this afternoon. Gu-Hichi's hand froze on the doorknob. She turned back to look at Gu-Hichi. But tonight, dinner with me. Gu-Hichi finished, a playful glint in her eyes. Gu-Hichi blushed. Dinner. Gu-Hichi nodded. That's right. That's my first condition. I want to have dinner with you. That's not too much to ask, is it? Gu-Hichi's inner fox meekly nodded. The sound of the door clicking shut echoed in the hallway. See you tonight, Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi called out. Gu-Hichi groaned. Darn it, I fell for her trap. Her inner fox shrieked. That vixen. Later, sitting in the restaurant, Gu-Hichi fumed. I agreed to have dinner with her, and she's half an hour late. Is she trying to provoke me? I'm already suffering enough, and now she's pulling my pigtails. Not that I have pigtails. She slammed her hand on the table. I said we'd have dinner together, and she's half an hour late. Gu-Hichi, are you doing this on purpose? Just as she stood up, fuming, Gu-Hichi walked in. So sorry, Gu-Hichi. I'm late. Hearing this, Gu-Hichi immediately began to berate her. I've been sitting here waiting for half an hour, and you're just arriving now? What are you playing at, Gu-Hichi? Gu-Hichi, dressed in comfortable athletic wear, strolled in and took off her hat. Something came up on the way. I know a simple apology wouldn't be sincere enough, she said, placing her hat down. With a captivating gesture, she removed her sunglasses. So, if Gu-Hichi is willing, I'll do anything to make it up to you. Gu-Hichi was clearly mesmerized by this series of actions. Blushing slightly, she covered her mouth. I don't need you to do anything for me. If you're here, let's just eat. I have filming tomorrow and need to sleep early. Gu-Hichi cheerfully replied, okay. Gu-Hichi looked at the menu, but the fact that Gu-Hichi had kept her waiting still rankled. If I let this go, she'll think I'm a pushover. A mischievous smile crept across her face as she glanced at Gu-Hichi. I have a plan. Knowing full well that Gu-Hichi was a vegetarian, she deliberately ordered only meat dishes, braised pigeon, duck blood pudding, and steamed sea bass. She quickly handed the menu to the waiter, slyly glancing at Gu-Hichi. I've ordered for you too. Gu-Hichi, still oblivious, smiled happily. Thank you. The dishes began to arrive one after another. Here are all the dishes you ordered, ma'am. Gu-Hichi's inner fox activated its A-list celebrity innocence mode. Oh dear, I forgot Gu-Hichi is a vegetarian. I only ordered meat dishes. Gu-Hichi, not blaming the little fox, said indulgently, it's okay. Just watching Gu-Hichi eat is enough to fill me up. Gu-Hichi, clearly not satisfied with this answer, forced a smile. Well then, I won't stand on ceremony. Needless to say, the little fox, like a starving ghost, devoured the food. After a while, her stomach full, Gu-Hichi sighed, rubbing her belly. I'm so full. Gu-Hichi thoughtfully offered her a napkin. Here's a napkin, Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi took it. Thank you. Then Gu-Hichi called out, you haven't wiped properly. Where? Gu-Hichi asked anxiously. As soon as she finished speaking, Gu-Hichi leaned closer and gently wiped the corner of Gu-Hichi's mouth. Let me help you, Gu-Hichi. She then pulled her hand back. Gu-Hichi was speechless with surprise. Gu-Hichi calmly wiped her own hand and said, Me? Gu-Hichi, wanting to ask something, finally spoke. Don't you like to be clean? Gu-Hichi replied, You pay attention to the rumors about me? I do like to be clean, but wiping your mouth is my pleasure. You're not dirty at all. Gu-Hichi's heart fluttered. She's so sweet. Is this a required skill for a best actress? Gu-Hichi said seductively, I'm serious. Gu-Hichi abruptly stood up, flustered. I'll go pay the bill. As Gu-Hichi went to the cashier, she noticed Gu-Hichi talking to a man. Watching them laugh and chat, she couldn't help but sigh. There's no denying Gu-Hichi's charisma. It's incredibly powerful, even though she's dressed so simply today. Suddenly, Gu-Hichi looked towards her. Embarrassed, Gu-Hichi quickly turned away. Outside, she asked curiously, was that the male lead who had the intimate scenes with you in Lost Waters? You must be happy. Gu-Hichi frowned. He has a girlfriend. Gu-Hichi continued, I watched that movie. The whole time, he acted like, I'm handsome, so I don't need to act. Only during the intimate scenes, when he was supposed to be seduced, did he act realistically. He's relying on his looks to get by, isn't he? Frowning with displeasure, she added, Why are you looking at me? Gu-Hichi leaned in playfully. Are you suddenly interested in this because you're worried I'm too charming and will attract too many admirers? Gu-Hichi blushed, flustered. What? Why would I care who likes you? Hearing this, Gu-Hichi retorted, You're overthinking it. I should remind you, being too beautiful isn't always a good thing, and I don't care how many people are after you. She huffed and walked towards her car. Gu-Hichi looked indulgently at her little fox, then followed Gu-Hichi towards the car. Inside the car, Gu-Hichi spoke urgently into her phone. Liang Yu, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Say something. On the other end, you wailed, Xiao Jing. Gu-Hichi winced, her ear practically numb from the crying. Gu-Hichi, seeing this, looked at Gu-Hichi. She's probably too upset right now. Asking over the phone won't get us anywhere. Ask her where she is. Gu-Hichi immediately said, All right, I won't ask any more questions. Where are you right now? You sniffled and replied, Ku, I'm at the Mo-Say bar. Gu-Hichi responded urgently. I'll be right there. Arriving at the location, Gu-Hichi said hesitantly, Sister Ku, you could drop me off here. You can go back now. Gu-Hichi made an X with her fingers. No way. How can I let Gu-Hichi go into a place like this alone? Then, the two of them entered together. A male employee opened the door for them. Gu-Hichi, walking behind, said, I asked Gu-Hichi out, so of course I have to take her back to her hotel. Inside, loud music pulsed through the air and people danced excitedly. Gu-Hichi located the private room and pushed the door open. Her mood immediately plummeted. Liang Yu, unlike the sobbing mess on the phone, you was singing happily and enthusiastically. Seeing the two of them, she broke out in a cold sweat. Not only Xiao Jing, but Gu-Hichi was here too. Gu-Hichi stormed over to her, furious. Great, just great. You heartless wretch. You pretended to try to trick me into coming here, didn't you? You stammered, I lost a bet, and they forced me to trick you into coming. Then, she fearfully ran towards the door. If I knew you were with Gu-Hichi tonight, I wouldn't have dared to bother you. Gu-Hichi pointed after her. Liang Yu, you get back here. Hearing the name Gu-Hichi, everyone lunged towards her. I didn't mishear, did I? You're Gu-Hichi, the best actress Gu-Hichi? The lighting is dim, so I couldn't see clearly. I thought you looked familiar, but I didn't expect it to really be you. Gu-Hichi quietly watched as everyone swarmed Gu-Hichi. I heard that best actress Ku never goes to bars. Turns out that's completely false. Best actress Ku, since you're here, sing us a song. I really like you. Can I get your autograph? Gu-Hichi sat down resignedly. All right, everyone, please sit down. Autographs, singing, I'll do it all. One at a time, please. Gu-Hichi frowned, assessing the situation. She really doesn't offend anyone. She treats everyone so well. Then, she sat down on a nearby chair. I don't think she's approaching me with any intention of being a good friend. Thinking this, the little fox sulked. It's all because of her perfect image. The crowd continued to bombard Gu-Hichi with questions. Miss Ku, I heard that director Liu wants to cast you in Lu Zhu in the second half of this year. Do you want to play Zhu Yingtai or Liang Shambua? That's right. Hichi, you look so handsome dressed as a man. I was stunned. Just then, someone approached Gu Hichi. Sister Gu Hichi, hello. My name is Wu Yin. We went to the same school. The young woman offered Gu Hichi a glass of wine as she spoke. My friends and I all love your movies. Gu Hichi was surprised. Thank you, but I don't drink. I'm so sorry. Hearing this, the young woman didn't push it and sat down next to her. It's okay. We could just chat. Gu Hichi then asked, what role are you playing now? The young woman replied, I'm playing a young maidservant. On the other side, someone asked Gu Hichi, Miss Gu, are you still collaborating with Miss Gu? The media says you two are very close. Miss Gu, you came here with Miss Gu tonight. Your relationship must be really good. Gu Hichi gave a model answer with a smile. That's right. I really want to continue collaborating with Gu Hichi. Hearing this, the little fox scoffed. That's so fake. I can't stand it. Then she said to Wu Yin, excuse me, I'm going to go make a call and see where Liang Yu ran off to. With that, she turned and left. Gu Hichi worriedly wondered, where did Xiao Jing go? She then went into the restroom, muttering to herself, damn you, why isn't she answering her phone? Outside, someone entered. Two girls were gossiping. She's got it so easy, one whispered, makes everyone jealous. You saw her and Gu Hichi showing up together, right? She's totally out of her league. Her friend nodded in agreement. I'd almost forgotten. Weren't they supposed to hate each other? Why are they both here tonight? The first girl replied, well, if this movie hadn't recast the lead, she should be thanking her lucky stars. Who dare cross Gu Hichi? Haven't you seen them lately? She pretends to be all high and mighty, but she's secretly clinging onto Gu Hichi's coattails, trying to get famous. Gu Hichi's face twisted in anger. I got the lead role because I'm talented. I don't need to cling to anyone. Who's clinging to whose coattails? Why do I always overhear people talking about me in the bathroom? She muttered, peeking out cautiously at the two gossipers. Seeing they were gone, she emerged. Gu Hichi and I are sworn enemies. I need to stay away from her, or what will people think? Gu Hichi, I have to stay strong and not fall for her tricks again. Burning with renewed resolve, she left the bathroom, only to have the door suddenly pushed open by someone entering. Gu Hichi looked up in surprise. Gu Hichi, she stammered anxiously. What took you so long? I was worried, so I came looking for you. Gu Hichi responded coldly. Thank for your concern, Gu Hichi, but I don't need it. Turning on her heel, she started to walk away. Gu Hichi, startled, reached out and caught her arm. Back in the private room, Gu Hichi flung the door open and slumped into a seat, fuming. She grabbed a glass of wine and gulped it down. Wu Yin looked at her, surprised. I thought you weren't drinking. Gu Hichi blushed. Well, that was the one I already had. Just then, Gu Hichi entered the room. She snatched the glass from Gu Hichi's hand. Gu Hichi, you have filming tomorrow. You shouldn't drink too much. Let me take you home. The defiant younger woman grabbed the bottle of wine from the table. She took a long swig, then looked at Gu Hichi mockingly. I wouldn't dream of troubling you. Gu Hichi. Raising her voice, she added, it's best if you just stay away from me. She then quickly left, leaving Gu Hichi standing there, helpless. Once outside, Gu Hichi's facade crumbled. She swayed dizzily. Ugh, so dizzy, she groaned, putting a hand to her forehead. That Gu Hichi is so infuriating. I need to get a cab home before the paparazzi see me, she thought, waving at an approaching yellow taxi. Taxi. Just then, Gu Hichi caught up. Gu Hichi glanced at her, then climbed into the taxi and drove off. Gu Hichi, a thoughtful expression on her face, got into her car and followed. She kept a close distance behind the taxi. A while later, the taxi stopped in front of a hotel. Gu Hichi stumbled out, swaying on her feet. Gu Hichi hurried forward. Gu Hichi, she said, Manager Zhao just called. He wants you back at the office as soon as possible. Gu Hichi frowned, irritated. Why did Gu Hichi's voice keep ringing in her ears? Gu Hichi, still worried, trailed behind the sulking younger woman. Gu Hichi fumbled with her key and pushed open the door. Gu Hichi hesitated, her concern evident. She followed Gu Hichi inside. Gu Hichi stumbled and collapsed onto the sofa. Gu Hichi sighed. She really can't hold her liquor, and yet she still drinks like this, she murmured, walking over and gently brushing Gu Hichi's hair away from her face. I won't let you drink again. Just then, a phone began ringing insistently. Gu Hichi went over and picked it up. Hello, she answered softly. May I ask who's calling and what this is regarding, Ms. Gu? The voice on the other end replied, I'm a delivery driver from 20 Restaurant. The vegetarian meal Ms. Gu ordered at 7:20 p.m. has been prepared for delivery, but there seems to be a problem with the address. Could you please confirm the address for me? The delivery driver, hearing no response, spoke again. Hello, are you still there? After a moment of stunned silence, Kuhichi answered, Yes, please send it to Hotel 20, room K06. Ms. Liang Tian will receive it. After hanging up, she sat gently on the bed, placing the phone on the nightstand. All this for me? She whispered, then tenderly stroked Guhichi's cheek. When will you finally drop this act of being tough on the outside, but soft on the inside? Guhichi stirred slightly and mumbled, Bath. I want a bath. Kuhichi blushed, flustered. A bath? But you're in no state to bathe yourself. Shall I help you? Guhichi, docile as a lamb, agreed. How could Kuhichi refuse such a request? Moments later, a bathtub filled with rose petals was ready. Kuhichi carefully unzipped Guhichi's dress. Guhichi's body slumped against her. Kuhichi, exercising restraint, guided Guhichi into the bathroom and gently placed her in the tub. Guhichi sighed contentedly, murmuring, This feels so good. Kuhichi sat on the edge of the tub, looking at Guhichi hesitantly. But the price I paid was worth it, she thought. After a moment, Kuhichi chuckled softly. Time to bathe you, she said, reaching for Guhichi. After some struggle, Kuhichi helped Guhichi out of the bath. Xiao Jing, I helped her get clean, she murmured to herself, then quickly led Guhichi towards the bed. Kuhichi gently laid Guhichi down. Guhichi, relaxed and flushed, sighed softly. Kuhichi couldn't resist stroking her cheek. Kuhichi gazed at her intently, as if trying to etch Guhichi's image into her memory. Then, unable to help herself, she kissed Guhichi's cheek and smiled. This reward isn't too much to ask for, is it? She thought. Dawn broke, and a gentle breeze drifted through the open window. Guhichi stirred, rubbing her cheek and yawning. She stumbled to the mirror, feeling dizzy. I slept so much, but my head still hurts, she groaned. I'm never drinking again. Suddenly, she looked at her reflection more closely. She looked at the clothes she was wearing. Why am I wearing pajamas? And these are the ones I hate the most. She blushed, remembering the events of the previous night. She vaguely recalled being in the bathtub. I think Kuhichi helped me, she thought, rubbing her temples. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. No, she screamed in horror. She ran to Kuhichi's door and banged on it. Kuhichi, did you come to my room last night? The door opened, revealing Kuhichi. Guhichi stared, stunned. Kuhichi, looking stunning in her elegant attire, replied calmly, Yes, you were drunk last night. I was worried, so I brought you back to your room. Guhichi narrowed her eyes suspiciously. You just brought me back? But then she shrieked, Don't deny it. The evidence is right here. Kuhichi, unfazed by Guhichi's outburst, replied serenely, I also bathed you and changed your clothes. I chose these pajamas for you. They're cute, aren't they? Guhichi blushed and retorted, The cutest ones are the spaghetti straps. Then she paused, a look of realization dawning on her face. Wait a minute. She realized she'd missed the point. Kuhichi, meanwhile, said, Okay, I remember. I'll put the spaghetti strap ones on you next time. Guhichi's face burned. There won't be a next time. We're not even that close. This makes me really uncomfortable. Can you please respect my boundaries? Kuhichi looked hurt. Guhichi, you misunderstand. You agreed to let me bathe you. That's why I did it. Guhichi argued. A drunk person doesn't know what they're doing. Do I really have to remind you of that? Kuhichi replied softly. It's precisely because I know a drunk person doesn't know what they're doing that I bathed you. Guhichi frowned. What are you even saying? She asked, enunciating each word. Kuhichi, picturing Guhichi struggling in the tub, explained, I was worried that if I didn't bathe you and left you alone in your room, you, being so particular about cleanliness, wouldn't be able to stand the sweat and would jump into the bath yourself. And in your drunken state, I can't even imagine what could have happened, she continued, leaning closer to Guhichi. Besides, Guhichi, we're both women. What's the big deal? Guhichi, looking flustered, seemed to have been swayed by Kuhichi's logic. But, still stubbornly arguing, Guhichi retorted, Oh, you're quite the smooth talker, aren't you? If you're so sure it's no big deal, then why don't you strip down and show me? Even if Mr. Ku begged, he wouldn't get this treatment. Guhichi, her face flushed crimson, was rendered speechless. She spun around and stormed off. I shouldn't even bother arguing with you. I'm leaving, she huffed. CEO Ku, so generous with her favors. Fine, we'll see each other on set. Not long after, on the film set, two crew members whispered to each other. Miss Hichi seems really off today. Do you think her acting will be able to keep up with Kuhichi? The other person quickly shushed them. Quiet. She's looking over here. Gu Hichi, overhearing the whispers, lowered her head, fuming. Damn it. She sat down, curling up slightly. The first time I was distracted was because I was acting with Ku Hichi. I couldn't help but remember last night, the bath. She thought. The other times, it's because... She trailed off, her mind replaying scenes of her acting alongside Ku Hichi. A strange flutter ran through her. I can't resist her acting, she realized, her heart pounding. Just then, the director's voice boomed through the loudspeaker. Miss Hichi, have you even read the script? I'll give you a little more time. Think seriously about how you're going to act this scene. Break time. Remembering the director's words, Gu Hichi propped her chin on her hand, a troubled expression on her face. I've always been confident in my training, whether it's acting skills or professional knowledge. I'm better than Ku Hichi. That's why I felt justified in disliking her, she mused. Then, she recalled the times Ku Hichi stood proudly on stage, accepting awards. I thought she only got those opportunities because of her connections, her luck. But now I understand why the audience loves her. She's more talented than me, she admitted to herself. It's laughable that I considered her a rival. I didn't realize there's so much I could learn from her. Just then, someone called out from behind her. Shout, Jing. Miss Ku asked me to give this to you. Gu Hichi bristled. Her again? We're not even friends. Why would you give me a gift? She waved her hand dismissively. I don't want it. Give it back to her. Zhao Ling, looking troubled, replied, but she said I had to give this to you. It's her second condition. Zhao Ling recalled Ku Hichi's words. Please tell Miss Gu for me. Because of what happened at the bar yesterday, her performance today wasn't good. Everyone has off days. Don't be too hard on yourself. Zhao Ling then held the gift out to Gu Hichi. This gift is her way of apologizing for last night. She has to go to Beijing tonight and won't be back until tomorrow. She hopes you'll feel less pressure for the 2 days she's gone. Don't let today happen again. Gu Hichi remained silent, listening intently. Then, she reached out and accepted the gift. What did she give me? She wondered aloud. Zhao Ling replied, I only know the packaging looks expensive. Gu Hichi opened the gift and frowned. This, she murmured, looking at the sparkling necklace inside. It looks quite valuable, she realized. She placed the necklace back in its box. I have to return this to her, she decided. Zhao Ling sighed. If you're not going to accept it, it's better to return it to her yourself. Don't involve me. With that, Zhao Ling quickly walked away. I'm leaving. Bye. Gu Hichi called after her, exasperated. Hey, what's the big deal? Don't leave me alone. Gu Hichi looked at the necklace, unsure of what to do. Later that evening, at her apartment, the sound of a phone going straight to voicemail echoed repeatedly. Gu Hichi anxiously tried to call Ku Hichi. I have to return this necklace to her. Otherwise, it'll be even harder to draw a line between us. Why isn't she answering? Finally, she heard the sound of someone picking up. Relieved, she started to speak, but a man's voice answered. Hello, Miss Gu. This is Ning Qiu. Xiao Ku went out to buy something and left her phone with me. Are you looking for her? Gu Hichi's mood instantly deflated. Ning Qiu, she thought. Ning Qiu continued. Miss Gu? Miss Gu. Startled, Gu Hichi stammered. Oh, nothing. There's just a scene the day after tomorrow I wanted to discuss with her. If she's not there, then never mind. Goodbye, Mr. Ning. Ning Qiu replied. Goodbye, Miss Gu. Gu Hichi hung up the phone, then fell deep into thought. Ning Qiu, the man who cultivates money-making artists in the showbiz world. If Gu Hichi hadn't gotten involved with Ning Qiu before, she definitely wouldn't be as untouchable and arrogant as she is now. But suddenly, Gu Hichi felt a pang of panic, her mind racing. It's so late now. Are they still together? Oh, this ill-fated connection with Ku Hichi. She doesn't even care herself. Why should an outsider like me worry about her? A moment later, the sound of trickling water could be heard. Gu Hichi lay quietly, relaxing in the bathtub. Suddenly, her phone rang. She reached out and grabbed it. Hello, Liang Yu. On the other end, Yu's voice responded. I have some hot gossip I have to tell you. Gu Hichi furrowed her brow, confused. If it's not interesting, your punishment will be doubled. I haven't forgotten the last time you tricked me into going to that technician. Liang Yu replied sheepishly. Come on, I wouldn't dare offend you. I'm standing right outside your door. What's the password? Gu Hichi grumbled. What are you doing? I'm in a bath. You chuckled mischievously. Well, you don't have to open the door, do you? What's the password? She asked. Gu Hichi barked into the phone. 3,840. It better be hot gossip, she added. Then, She heard the door open and you step inside. I said it was hot gossip, so it definitely is. The actress playing the second female lead alongside you is going to be frozen by her agency from now on. Her contract for Vong Shuyan also expires tonight. Gu Hichi was surprised. Doesn't she have a powerful backer? That's why she's been so arrogant since filming started, and the crew hasn't dared to say anything. Who did she offend? You immediately replied. I heard the other person is so terrifying that even her sponsor, the second young Master Liang, was too scared to speak up for her. As for who that person is, I have no idea. In the bathtub, Gu Hichi pondered this. Oh, so I've considered hot gossip. All right, I won't hold that other matter against you. Outside the bathroom, you picked up the necklace Gu Hichi had given Gu Hichi and tried it on. It's so beautiful. If I wear this to the party tomorrow, I'll be the most stunning one there. I'll be the talk of the town. Then, turning towards the bathroom, she said sweetly, My dearest, adorable Gu Hichi, your poor friend has a small request. I wonder if you'd be willing to grant it. Gu Hichi, losing her patience, replied, Just spit it out already. You turned back and started to formulate her words. Then, standing in front of the bathroom door, she said, I'm about to attend a party, but I didn't bring anything nice with me. Could I borrow some of your accessories? I promise I'll return them the day after tomorrow. Gu Hichi inwardly groaned. Oh, here we go, but softened and said, Take them from the bedside table. You happily touched the necklace around her neck. I'll take this then. Thank you, my dearest, adorable Gu Hichi. I'll take my leave now. Gu Hichi was startled by the swift borrowing maneuver. She then wrapped a towel around herself and chased after you. Hey, don't tell me you took the one on the table. But when she got outside, there was no one there. Gu Hichi immediately ran back into the room. Then, she breathed a sigh of relief. It's still there. At this moment, in the hotel lobby below, Gu Hichi happened to be walking in. She saw you walking out, looking pleased. Gu Hichi's sharp eyes caught sight of the necklace. Isn't that the necklace? Her expression fell. The one I gave to Xiao Jing. She then called out, Miss Liang, please wait a moment. You turn around. Miss Ku? Hello, Miss Ku. She asked nervously. Miss Ku, is something the matter? Gu Hichi frowned and pointed to the necklace. May I ask where you got that necklace? You stammered, from Xiao Jing. Hearing this, Gu Hichi's heart sank. I took so much care choosing that necklace for you, and you just casually gave it away to someone else? She then pulled out a black card and offered it to you. There's enough money in this card to buy a diamond from the same brand several times larger. Please return the necklace you're wearing to me. It's very important to me. You anxiously touched the necklace. This necklace is yours? But it was at Xiao Jing's place. You gave this necklace to Xiao Jing. Gu Hichi nodded. Seeing this, you hurriedly took it off. I'll return it to you right now. The two exchanged a few words. Gu Hichi thanked Liang Yu, took the necklace, clutched it tightly, and left with a darkened expression, leaving a bewildered Liang Yu behind. Then, panicked, Liang Yu thought, wait a minute, I haven't had a chance to explain to her. Gu Hichi told me to take jewelry from the bedside table. I chose that necklace myself and took it. I have to tell her. Oh no, she's burning down my little fox's house. I'll get ripped to shreds. Thinking of this, Liang Yu, consumed with anxiety, exclaimed, Oh no, I'm doomed. Gu Hichi is going to kill me. I have to run for my life. A moment later, Gu Hichi rang Gu Hichi's doorbell. Gu Hichi opened the door. Gu Hichi. Gu Hichi spoke with a pained voice. Gu Hichi. Seeing her expression, Gu Hichi was confused. What's with that look? Gu Hichi, on the verge of tears, bit her lip. Gu Hichi, do you find me more detestable than anyone else in the world? Gu Hichi stammered, I don't dislike you, but I wouldn't say you're that terrible. Gu Hichi, have I offended you somehow? Gu Hichi, her heart sinking, clutched the necklace tightly and held it out towards Gu Hichi. With difficulty, she said, How could you so casually give away the gift I gave you to someone else? Gu Hichi was surprised. That necklace? But it was in the box. Then, she bent down and looked at it closely. I understand now. Liang Yu, that little sneak. She took the necklace from a box. It's my fault for not checking. Gu Hichi continued. Maybe you think this is just a cheap trinket. Or maybe to you, it's just an ordinary necklace. But this necklace is something I had to fight tooth and nail to get back from the woman who likes to steal my things. By this point, Gu Hichi was choked with sobs. Gu Hichi, flustered, waved her hands. I didn't know it meant so much. Gu Hichi, don't cry. Gu-Hichi clutched the necklace, looking at Gu-Hichi with anguish. Overwhelmed with guilt, Gu-Hichi looked around. If anyone sees us, they'll think I'm bullying you. Let's go inside and talk. The door quickly slammed shut. Inside the room, Gu-Hichi took Ku-Hichi's hand and comforted her. Ku-Hichi, I admit I'm at fault. Letting you see someone else wearing that necklace was my fault. I didn't take good care of it. Are you really giving this necklace back to me now? Ku-Hichi abruptly snapped the necklace. Something that's been touched by someone else loses its original meaning. This necklace has lost its value. The unfortunate necklace, caught in the crossfire of misunderstanding caused by Liang Yu, broke into two pieces. Gu-Hichi whispered, Ku-Hichi, I said I was wrong. Why did you break the necklace? Ku-Hichi, overcome with grief, sobbed uncontrollably. Gu-Hichi, feeling utterly guilty, covered her face and wailed internally, Help me. What do I have to do to make her stop crying? Then, she awkwardly touched Ku-Hichi's cheek. Ku-Hichi, crying like this will affect the filming. She then gently wiped away Ku-Hichi's tears with both hands and softly comforted her. This isn't that serious. If you don't like other people touching it, I'll buy you another one exactly the same. It'll be fine. Crying won't make it any better. You're just making yourself upset, silly. Seeing this, Ku-Hichi finally stopped crying. She looked at Gu-Hichi, who was softly expressing her concern. All right, I was really wrong. There won't be a next time. As Ku-Hichi's crying subsided, Gu-Hichi stammered, Ku-Hichi, did I remind you of someone? Ku-Hichi sadly wiped her tears. Then, she turned away. A long time ago, a friend used to wipe away my tears just like you do, Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi cautiously asked, a boyfriend? Ku-Hichi blushed and lied. Yeah. Gu-Hichi started to think. Besides the rumors, no paparazzi have ever caught Ku-Hichi dating. Now I'm hearing her admit to having a boyfriend firsthand. It doesn't seem real. Thinking this, she looked at Ku-Hichi and said with a smile, It seems your ex-boyfriend was good at comforting you. I'll buy you a new necklace as soon as I'm done filming tomorrow. And I'll buy myself something to apologize as well. Can we just forget about this? Ku-Hichi replied, No need, I'll fix it. If you really feel bad, then don't refuse my goodwill anymore, okay? Gu-Hichi, feigning naive cheerfulness, looked up at the sky. No problem. From now on, whatever you give me, I'll use it immediately. I'll wear even 10 necklaces if you give them to me. As long as it's from you, I'll wear it. Meanwhile, her inner little fox thought, just being polite. How could she actually give me that much? The next day, on set, Gu-Hichi was fanning herself with a mini fan, complaining, It's so hot. Suddenly, a car key appeared in front of her. It was Ling Tian, Ku-Hichi's manager. Miss Gu, Ku-Hichi prepared 2 RVs for you. Inside, there's air conditioning, a bed, and a bathroom. Please accept them. Hearing this, Gu-Hichi tilted her head in confusion. RV. Manager Ling smiled and replied, Ku-Hichi said so. Last night, Ku-Hichi stayed up late making a whole bunch of notes. With this heat, it's probably an outdoor scene. She said you'd need an RV, face masks, summer clothes to change into, and a full set of jewelry. After a while, with everything prepared, Ku-Hichi mentally gave herself a perfect 10. At this point, Gu-Hichi shyly refused. I can't accept this. It's too much. Assistant Ling placed the key in her hand. Then you can tell Ku-Hichi yourself. Seeing Assistant Ling leave, Gu-Hichi stood up and called out, Hey! Her phone rang continuously. It was Ku-Hichi calling. She immediately answered, Ku-Hichi, the things you bought. Before she could finish, Ku-Hichi cheerfully interrupted, Looks like you received them. You know, being able to buy things for you makes me really happy. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hearing this, the little fox found herself in a difficult situation again. Her inner little fox screamed, How can I refuse now? On the other end of the line, Ku-Hichi continued, Oh right, I just saw a sun umbrella. Do you prefer blue or light pink? Gu-Hichi raised an eyebrow and replied, I don't like either. Ku-Hichi seemed not to hear. She started thinking aloud. Then I'll choose green. I'll bring it to the set this afternoon. Gu-Hichi's tone started to show annoyance. Ku-Hichi, please stop giving me gifts, okay? Hello. Ku-Hichi giggled on the other end. Gu-Hichi, I've already told them to go buy it. I'll hang up now. Gu-Hichi was dumbfounded. What? At that moment, then Veen walked towards her. Gu-Hichi, have you heard the news? Your Ku-Hichi is bringing a newcomer here today. The female lead just arrived today. Lin Min Lin, the niece of the chairman of Tin Kwang Media. Gu-Hichi froze. The only sound echoing in her mind was Ku-Hichi Kuhichi, Kuhichi. She dazedly asked, who? Then, dejectedly repeated, Lin Min Lin. At this moment, Director Kwong called out, actors, gather around. Everyone looked towards Kuhichi and Lin Min Lin, murmuring in admiration. Miss Lin is so beautiful. Her and Kuhichi's outfits look like couples' costumes. Guhichi looked at them, full of suspicion. Seeing the green tea-like, Min Lin looking at her CEO with possessive intent. The little fox began to panic. Then Veen added beside her, it seems like they're kissing in this scene, huh? Guhichi lowered her head, annoyed. Yeah, that's right. In this scene, Princess DG forces a kiss on Yumin D. Yumin D. Jun doesn't respond. So Princess DG takes out her hairpin and threatens suicide. Yumin D. Jun tries to stop her, but ends up falling under the princess's spell. Then, he's forced into the kiss. Then Veen asked curiously, oh, why do you look so upset? Don't be like that, Guhichi. Is the little fox jealous again? Why would you be sad? You have nothing to do with Kuhichi. The director shouted, action. Suddenly, Guhichi looked seriously towards the scene. Then Veen observed her. The scene showed 2 doves flying. Kuhichi, as Yumin D-jun, sat meditating by the lake. Then, she called out loudly to someone. That person replied, D-jun. It was Min Lin. She seductively approached Kuhichi. D-jun, look what I have in my hand. Off to the side, Guhichi was despondent. Miss Lin acts so well. She uses a bright and unrestrained, yet also charming style to portray an elegant lady. She definitely didn't achieve that overnight. Kuhichi stood up indifferently. I see. Lin Min Lin held up a mirror, adding cheerfully, my father said if you and I get married and live happily ever after, he'll give you this immediately. Kuhichi coldly refused. It's better for you to keep this treasure, princess. The matter of our marriage was just a casual joke between our parents. We can't be together. Tomorrow, I'll make it clear to the Heavenly Emperor. Please don't mention this again, princess. Seeing Kuhichi leaving, the green tea-like Min Lin called out. Emperor, she cried, pulling a hairpin from her hair. Stop. She held it against her neck, or I'll die right here for you. I won't allow you to go to your parents to break off the engagement. Kuhichi turned around. A flick of her wrist, a flash of magic, and the hairpin in Min Lin's hand clattered to the ground. Min Lin, with a cunning glint in her eyes, looked at Kuhichi. Emperor, you've lost. She pressed closer to Kuhichi. Emperor, I have the world-protecting mirror. The supreme divine power is in my hands. Do you really think you can control me? She had already immobilized Kuhichi. Even though I know it's acting, I really hate this green tea Min Lin. I'll rip her to shreds. Guhichi fumed internally. Kuhichi frowned, uncomfortable. Let me go. Min Lin laughed triumphantly. Then kiss me. Kuhichi replied helplessly. Princess, stop messing around. Min Lin put on a serious expression. Kuhichi, the whole world knows about our engagement. What's wrong with a kiss? Kuhichi closed her eyes, seemingly indifferent. Suddenly, Min Lin stood on tiptoe. Well, I want one anyway. The audacious green tea Min Lin cupped Kuhichi's face, about to kiss her. Guhichi, watching, squirmed uncomfortably. She turned away, unable to watch. That Min Lin actually kissed our Kuhichi. I'll tear her apart. The director frowned and called out. Cut. Kuhichi, relax a bit. Let's do this scene again. Kuhichi frowned, displeased. Then Veen, observing from the side, commented, Kuhichi's expressions are usually so good. She's never been stopped by the director before. This is the first time she's been called out for her expression, right? Kuhichi replied indifferently. Even experts make mistakes. But Guhichi's inner fox agreed. For someone as skilled as Kuhichi to make such a mistake is really strange. Then Veen nudged Guhichi excitedly. Look, they're going to reshoot the kiss. Guhichi stood up dejectedly. You watch. I'm going to prepare for tomorrow's scenes. Kuhichi and Min Lin were preparing to reshoot the kiss. Guhichi, feeling irritated, turned and walked away. The scene shifted to an outdoor swimming pool. In the women's changing room, Guhichi was adjusting her dress, but her mind was elsewhere, still on the film set, watching Kuhichi kiss another woman. Suddenly, her phone rang. The voice on the other end said, Guhichi, I just saw your encouraging comment on my blog about Qingyan. Thank you. Guhichi was surprised. She hadn't expected the male lead, Duong-du, to call her just for a comment. It's the handsome Duong-du. She replied politely, don't mention it. We're in the same company. Besides, you're a role model for me. Your acting is superb. Duong-du said, thank you anyway. We almost had a chance to work together in Lost in Time. I'm sorry about the change in the lead role. I hope we can collaborate next time. Let's talk again later. I have another schedule soon. When you're finished filming and have some free time, I'll treat you to dinner. Gu Hichi replied cheerfully, "You're too kind. Go ahead with your work. Bye-bye." As soon as she hung up, a notification popped up. Duong Du has followed you. Reciprocating the gesture, Gu Hichi followed the handsome Duong Du back. She put her phone in the locker and slowly stepped into the pool. I have a falling into water scene tomorrow. I should practice holding my breath underwater. With that thought, she plunged into the water, her body sinking freely towards the bottom of the pool. Suddenly, a cramp seized Gu Hichi's leg. Panic flared. "Oh no, I forgot to warm up," she thought, struggling weakly in the water. A panicked voice shouted, "Someone's drowning!" Gu Hichi feebly reached a hand above the surface. A hand grasped hers and pulled her up. It was Gu Hichi. "Gu Hichi, are you all right?" she asked anxiously. Gu Hichi stared at Gu Hichi, mesmerized, before whispering, "No." In that moment, Gu Hichi saw only Gu Hichi. But then, she pushed Gu Hichi away. "Why aren't you still getting lovey-dovey with Lin Min Lin? Why are you here at the pool?" Her inner fox hissed. "Is little Gu Hichi jealous?" Gu Hichi, without a word, took off her jacket and draped it over Gu Hichi's shivering shoulders. "When was I ever being lovey-dovey with Miss Lin?" Gu Hichi stubbornly turned away. "I don't want your jacket. This afternoon, you and Miss Lin were kissing like you were trying to break a world record." Gu Hichi, concerned, fastened the jacket around Gu Hichi. "It was just for the scene. Everyone wants to make the best film possible. Besides," Gu Hichi continued, "if that's what you consider lovey-dovey, then wouldn't you say Gu Hichi and I are even more intimate?" Gu Hichi blushed. Then, she stood up, a grimace of pain crossing her face. "My leg, the cramp, it hurts so much." She swayed, losing her balance. Gu Hichi gently caught her. Gu Hichi, surprised that Gu Hichi hadn't pushed her away, blushed again. "Let's be clear, Gu Hichi," she stammered. "We're just colleagues. And besides, I'm a woman. Don't attach those kinds of ambiguous implications to me." Gu Hichi looked saddened. "She's just emphasizing the boundaries," she thought. "Miss Lin is also a woman," Gu Hichi said aloud. "Why do you explain it so strangely, Gu Hichi?" Gu Hichi recalled the look in Lin Min Lin's eyes when she'd looked at Gu Hichi. "Lin Min Lin isn't like me," she retorted. Gu Hichi looked puzzled. "Different how?" Gu Hichi's voice rose. "Different, just different. Let go of me, Gu Hichi. I want to go back to my room." Gu Hichi began massaging Gu Hichi's leg. "Let me massage your cramped leg, and I'll take you back to your room." She continued as she worked. "You should always warm up properly before swimming. It's easy to get cramps otherwise. Be careful tomorrow during filming." Gu Hichi looked at Gu Hichi, her feelings a tangled mess. Should I push her away? She wondered. Then her inner fox chimed in, "But her massage is quite good. It wouldn't hurt to enjoy it a little, would it?" Gu Hichi, feeling shy, said, "The muscle in my calf is really tight." Gu Hichi moved her hand up Gu Hichi's leg and began gently kneading. "Here," Gu Hichi asked. Gu Hichi, enjoying the sensation, murmured, Gu Hichi's voice was low and alluring. "Then I'll massage it." After a while, Gu Hichi helped Gu Hichi back to her room. As they arrived, Gu Hichi's phone rang. "Your phone's ringing," Gu Hichi pointed out. The phone continued to ring, but Gu Hichi ignored it. Gu Hichi hesitated, unsure what to do. She knew it was Lin Min Lin calling. Finally, Gu Hichi answered. "Hello, Miss Lin." Gu Hichi sat primly, nibbling on a snack, her ears perked, eavesdropping. "Tomorrow morning?" Gu Hichi glanced hesitantly at Gu Hichi. "Gu Hichi, I have something to take care of tomorrow morning. I won't be able to watch your underwater scene. Please be careful." Gu Hichi responded indifferently. "You don't need to tell me that, Gu Hichi. We're just ordinary friends at most. You don't need to watch me film. It's getting late. You should go. I want to rest." Before leaving, Gu Hichi carefully checked Gu Hichi's leg one last time. "Is her leg all right?" she asked. Gu Hichi stood up. "Even if it wasn't, you wouldn't be able to fix it. I was just being polite earlier. Your massage skills are truly terrible." Gu Hichi's voice was tinged with hurt. "I couldn't satisfy you." She turned to leave. "Gu Hichi, I'll go now. Get some rest." Gu Hichi, realizing she'd been too harsh, watched Gu Hichi walk away. The next day, on set, Director Kwang's voice boomed through the loudspeaker. "Everyone in their places. Are the actors ready?" Gu Hichi, on set, read through the script, breaking out in a cold sweat. She had to take off all her clothes. The next scene was a dangerous one, and her co-star was Gu Hichi. The thought made her send out an internal SOS. Across the set, Gu Hichi called out, "I'm ready." Director Kwang looked over. Gu-Hichi, you can rest for a bit. We'll film the falling into the water scene first. Ku-Hichi added. The rescue team won't arrive until noon. Don't blame me for being fussy. We need to ensure the actor's safety. Gu-Hichi felt a surge of unexpected happiness. I thought she wouldn't be here in time for my falling scene, she thought, walking towards the set with a newfound lightness. I'm ready too. Luong Yu also chimed in. Director, I'm all set. Director Kwong nodded with satisfaction. Good, then let's begin. Everyone in their places, he called. Action. Gu-Hichi quickly immersed herself in her role. Little sister, I'll go over there and gather herbs for cousin, she said. Then Veen, from behind, replied, all right, I'll also look around to see if I can find the medicinal ingredients elder brother needs. But inwardly, Yu seethed, don't think you can use this opportunity to curry favor with elder brother. Her performance, however, was somewhat lacking. Her expression was stiff, her teeth gritted in resentment. Today, I must eliminate you, she thought. Ku-Hichi watched the scene unfold, then turned to the director. What do you think of Luong Yu's acting? She asked. The director considered for a moment. Her acting is a bit stiff, suitable for television dramas, perhaps. Under the scorching sun, Gu-Hichi wiped her brow, then turned to Yu with a bright smile. Little sister, I've found the herb elder brother needs. Ku-Hichi was full of praise. Exactly. Her acting in this small scene is very authentic. However, she paused. There's one issue. She's easily influenced by her co-star. If her co-star is dedicated, she performs much better. But, she continued, if her co-star is careless, she's negatively affected. Moreover, her emotional control isn't very good. If she's acting with someone she dislikes, or if her mood is unstable, her performance will be inconsistent. Assistant Lang agreed. If you say so, then it must be true. Ku-Hichi sighed. Today's scene with her won't be easy. When they reached the scene where Yu stabbed Gu-Hichi in the chest, the director yelled, excellent. Cut. Ku-Hichi picked up a towel. Let me give her this shawl. Assistant Lang stopped her. Ku-Hichi, before, when you gave her that car, it attracted a lot of attention, and it even provoked Lin Min Lin. It's best to restrain yourself. Ku-Hichi looked at Gu-Hichi hesitantly. Then, she handed the towel to Assistant Lang. You go. Meanwhile, in the makeup room, Gu-Hichi spoke to the makeup artist. The script says the wound is on my shoulder. Could you move it up a little? The makeup artist looked troubled. I just saw the previous shot. Miss Luong Yu's hairpin struck this spot. Gu-Hichi pleaded, just a little higher, please. The makeup artist stood firm. This requires the director's approval. Gu-Hichi sighed, defeated. Well, all right then, she conceded, worry creeping in. Arguing with the makeup artist is pointless. It's all for the best effect, anyway. I just hope the scene goes smoothly. Can I even do this? The thought of Ku-Hichi undressing her and examining her wound made her inner fox replay the embarrassing scenario in her mind. And then we almost kiss, she thought, a blush creeping up her neck. Oh my God, I don't think I can do this. SOS. A while later, filming began. Gu-Hichi lay quietly on the bed, being tended to by Ku-Hichi. She tried to calm herself. Gu-Hichi, you mustn't panic, she told herself. Ku-Hichi, in character, gently helped her sit up and began to untie her robe. In a moment, Gu-Hichi was left in only a thin undergarment. She lay nestled in Ku-Hichi's arms, her brow furrowed in pain. The director focused on Ku-Hichi's expression. Ku-Hichi's hesitant expression isn't quite right. In the script, the Yumin Emperor and Liu have already become friends in the mortal realm, but he doesn't have romantic feelings for her yet. Her expression seems a bit much, but this take is passable. Let's see how it goes. Ku-Hichi held Gu-Hichi anxiously. Although she knew the wound was fake, she still couldn't accept seeing it on Gu-Hichi's body. Then, Ku-Hichi reached out to touch the wound on Gu-Hichi's chest, but Gu-Hichi flinched. Director Kwong, annoyed, yelled cut, and then barked, Gu-Hichi, go back and watch your performance, just now. Gu-Hichi timidly approached Director Kwong. She knew she hadn't done well. Her acting was forced and unconvincing. Any random extra could have done a better job, she thought, biting her lip in frustration. I'm sorry. Let's do it again. I'll definitely pay more attention. The director didn't make things difficult. All right, let's retake the scene. Everyone get ready. Everything was set. Action. Gu-Hichi lay motionless on the bed, immersing herself in the role. Once again, Gu-Hichi untied her robe and touched the wound. Gu-Hichi breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness they're not filming my face right now, she thought. With my expression, I definitely wouldn't have passed this scene. Gu-Hichi looked at her thoughtfully. Now I have to clean her wound. She hesitated, her hand hovering over the injury. It's so close to her chest. Gu-Hichi won't like me doing this. Then, Director Kwong yelled cut in frustration. Gu-Hichi, he bellowed. The wound is clearly lower down. Why aren't you touching it? Hearing this, Gu-Hichi reminded herself, this is just work. Then, she spoke up. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Let's do it again. Director Kwong waved his hand wearily. This was the third take of this scene. Gu-Hichi, still not immersed in the scene, just stared blankly at Gu-Hichi. The director was furious. He jumped up. That's it. We're not filming anymore. Everyone stop. The two actresses, defeated, looked at the director in silence. He began to rant. This scene only involves a little bit of skin, and you're acting like this? How are we going to film the kissing scenes under the lotus flowers later? Do you want every kissing scene to take 2 days to film? Gu-Hichi felt a pang of guilt. I'm sorry, Director Kwong. It's my fault, he retorted. If you know it's your fault, then fix it. Can you fix it? No actors filming a romantic scene avoid discussing it beforehand. Even if you two really hate each other, as the rumors say, you still have to be responsible for the film. Your performance is wasting everyone's time. Gu-Hichi sat motionless on the bed, despair washing over her. Gu-Hichi, worried, reached out towards her. Then, she suddenly stopped when she heard Gu-Hichi speak. I'm sorry, director. I will definitely be responsible for the film. I will fix my attitude and film this well. Hearing this, Gu-Hichi withdrew her hand. She turned to Director Kwong. Me too. I will also adjust my state of mind. The director, still angry, turned back to his seat. I hope so. Time passed quickly. It was already 9 p.m. Gu-Hichi stood in front of Ku-Hichi's door and knocked. The door opened quickly. Gu-Hichi said, Sister Ku, I came to find you. Then, with difficulty, she uttered 2 words, rehearse. Looking at Gu-Hichi's innocent expression, Ku-Hichi teased, all right. But before we rehearse, I want to invite you to take a hot bath with me. Gu-Hichi stammered, flustered. A hot bath. Ku-Hichi tilted her head. Yes, we could take a hot bath. It's easier to relax and talk while rehearsing. I wonder if Gu-Hichi would be willing. It's unclear whether the naive Gu-Hichi agreed, but the scene shifted to the spa's hot spring therapy center. Our little fox inwardly complained. Could it be that she's put a spell on me? Why did I think taking a hot bath was a good idea back then? She pondered, hugging her arms. Anyway, I came here to cultivate feelings with her. Just then, Ku-Hichi entered, causing the little fox to blush and freeze. Then, a dazzling scene unfolded. Ku-Hichi began to take off her robe, revealing her flawless, slender back. Then Ku-Hichi slowly stepped into the steamy pool, softly calling out, Xiao Jing. Gu-Hichi, trying to maintain her composure, watched her face flushing crimson and her body burning hot. Gazing at Ku-Hichi's flawless figure, Gu-Hichi marveled inwardly. Her physique is the legendary golden ratio, 0.618. A moment later, Ku-Hichi looked at Gu-Hichi seductively and asked, Aren't you coming in? Gu-Hichi, blushing furiously, hugged her arms and stammered, See, coming. I'm coming right now. With that, she slowly began to descend into the water. Ku-Hichi leaned over slightly and murmured, I'll wait for you. Her alluring silhouette shimmered just beneath the surface of the water. But our little fox, overcome with shyness, clutched her robe tightly. I need to find something to talk about, she thought. Finally, she spoke. Sister Ku, she began, then hesitantly added, That time I was drunk. I didn't say or do anything crazy, did I? Ku-Hichi, deftly tying her hair up, turned and replied, Why did you suddenly remember to ask about that? Gu-Hichi fumbled. It's nothing. I don't remember clearly what happened. That's all. Her blush deepened. I don't like this hazy feeling. Ku-Hichi, captivated by Gu-Hichi's bashful demeanor, responded with a playful lilt. You didn't do anything crazy. You just kept saying you hated me. Gu-Hichi averted her gaze, staring up at the ceiling. Really? I must have been in a bad mood that night. If I said anything to hurt you, Sister Ku, I apologize. Ku-Hichi replied indulgently. It's all right. Hearing this, Gu-Hichi shyly embraced her, murmuring, Sister. Ku-Hichi cut her off gently. I'll learn to understand you, my little one. Gu-Hichi looked at her, surprised, her eyes wide. Ku-Hichi gazed at Gu-Hichi, affectionately. Xiao Jing, you still haven't come in? Gu Hichi stammered. Her slender legs dipped into the water as she hesitantly replied, I'm in the water now. The naive little fox playfully splashed her feet, adding, if my feet are in, that counts as being in the water, right? Ku Hichi chuckled, charmed by her childishness. So adorable, she thought. Composing herself, she said softly, Xiao Jing, are you embarrassed? Do you not want to undress in front of me? Gu Hichi, startled as Ku Hichi moved closer, quickly denied it. No, not at all. Ku Hichi leaned towards her, then straightened up, a mischievous glint in her eyes. All right then, I was going to tell you that if you're really shy, you can just wear a towel while you soak. I won't laugh. As soon as she finished speaking, bubbles rose to the surface. Gu Hichi had submerged herself, leaving only her head above water. She glared at Ku Hichi reproachfully. Why didn't you say so earlier? Gu Hichi reached for a towel on the edge of the pool and offered it to Ku Hichi. I suggest you wear one too. Ku Hichi accepted it with a smile. Anything for you. After wrapping the towel around herself, Ku Hichi looked at Gu Hichi. Xiao Jing, if you have anything on your mind, just tell me directly. Gu Hichi replied, I do have something I've been thinking about. Ku Hichi turned to face her. What is it? Gu Hichi responded, Sister Ku, I'm really curious. Why don't you mind how badly I treat you? And why are you still so good to me? Ku Hichi hesitated, because their eyes met, and Gu Hichi whispered, Sister. Looking into Ku Hichi's intense gaze, Gu Hichi stammered, Sister Ku. Sister. Ku Hichi leaned in close, whispering in Gu Hichi's ear, causing her to blush and tremble with anticipation. Then Ku Hichi gently kissed Gu Hichi. Caught off guard, Gu Hichi froze. Her eyes widened in a mixture of confusion and panic. Pushing Ku Hichi away, she exclaimed, Sister Ku, what's wrong with you? Ku Hichi moved closer again, beginning to explain. Gu Hichi, do you know what the biggest problem between us is? Gu Hichi stammered. What do you mean? Tell me. Ku Hichi continued. It's that our relationship in real life is so different from the main characters in the film. In the film, Liu loves you by so much. She even becomes a ghost for him. But you? Gu Hichi interrupted, her voice laced with discomfort. I what? Ku Hichi leaned closer. She keeps avoiding me, practically wishing she could sever all ties. One kiss from me, and she reacts like I'm some enemy who's just defiled her family. Ku Hichi continued, stepping closer to Co-Company. How are we supposed to act this out? It sounds reasonable enough. Coco started to think, then replied glumly. I admit, I still haven't fully accepted you, but we can't rely on this kind of acting for the entire film. Of course, actors playing lovers in showbiz can't all be best friends, let alone actual lovers. Coco scowled at Ku Hichi. I didn't appreciate that sudden kiss just now. Even if it was for work, I still feel violated. Hearing this, Ku Hichi hung her head dejectedly. It wasn't just for work. It's just, I couldn't help myself. Coco was bewildered. What's with her today? I'm the one who was violated. Why does she look like she's the one being bullied? Ku Hichi spoke softly. I'm sorry. She stepped closer to Coco again. But I still think we should nurture our feelings and understand each other a little better. Ku Hichi's heart ached with a pitiful thought. If this is what it takes to get close to her, then even if it seems pathetic, even if I get scolded, I don't want to let go so easily. She sighed in frustration. She pressed closer to Co-Company. At least you can tolerate physical contact with me, right? We'll have to film bed scenes later. If we can't even manage a kiss now, what are we going to do about those scenes? Coco silently agreed. You're right, but Ku Hichi uttered a startling sentence. This time, I won't kiss you by surprise. I'll give you time to prepare. Shall we try knockback and Liu Yu's kissing scene under the wisteria trellis? Xiao Jing really wants to do the scene well, right? So you'll agree? Ku Hichi's voice seemed to hold an enchanting power. Coco nodded involuntarily. Seeing her agreement, Ku Hichi pulled her into an embrace. Coco leaned her head against Ku Hichi's shoulder, blushing. This is the first time I've been this intimate with her. The burning heat from her body transferred to me. It's so hot. Everywhere I turn, it's her scent. It's making me lost in thought. Ku Hichi slowly pressed her lips against Coco's. Coco closed her eyes, melting into the kiss. I can't keep running away. Suddenly, she opened her eyes again, her heart pounding. Coco placed a hand on Ku Hichi's chest. Wait a minute. Beneath the water's surface, Ku Hichi's legs settled between Coco's thighs, pressing closer. Coco was enveloped in Ku Hichi's embrace, her breath growing ragged. Her mind screamed at her to stop this, but Kuhichi's gaze seemed to pierce through her, wanting to memorize every detail of her face. Mesmerized, Coco stared back at Kuhichi. "I can't move." Then, involuntarily, she yielded to Kuhichi's passionate kiss. Coco surrendered, lost in the unfamiliar, intoxicating sensation. The only sound was the frantic beating of their hearts. Coco clutched at Kuhichi's collar. Then, dazed, her hand went limp. Lost in the deep kiss, she thought, her lips are so soft. Suddenly, Coco's eyes snapped open. Why am I thinking like that? She pulled away sharply, looking away. I can't do this anymore. Kuhichi spoke. Are you planning to stay like this to act out the main character's love scene? Coco looked down, embarrassed. But I can't act it out. Kuhichi gently tilted Coco's chin up. Anyone can act out a love scene. You're saying you can't? Her voice dropped to a lower register. This is a very important scene. Coco gritted her teeth. I know. She looked at Kuhichi with a reluctant expression. Fine, let's do it. With Coco's reluctant agreement, Kuhichi leaned in. Another deep kiss. Kuhichi's hand found its way to the softest part of Coco's body. Coco gasped, startled. Where's her hand? But after a moment, she relaxed, her arms winding around Kuhichi's. Kuhichi kissed her deeply, passionately. A single, glistening drop of water traced a path down Coco's chin. It splashed onto the water's surface, blurring their reflection. Then, with a gasp, Coco pulled away from the kiss, her breath coming in ragged bursts. Flustered and embarrassed, she turned her head away. We kissed for too long, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Nakbak and Lu Yu's kiss under the wisteria trellis is only 2 seconds long. Kuhichi, sated like a well-fed wolf, looked at Coco with an indulgent smile. Whatever her little rabbit said right now was right. Acting truly was a unique profession, unlike any other in the world. She continued to gaze at Coco with affectionate praise. Coco, you're improving so rapidly. You'll definitely win Best Actress someday. Coco raised an eyebrow at the compliment. That's nothing compared to you, Kuhichi. You can act out these intensely emotional scenes with anyone so effortlessly. Kuhichi chuckled, lowering her head. I wouldn't go that far. You're forgetting, Coco, you're a woman too. But that's how acting is. When I first started, I probably messed up kissing scenes dozens of times. Coco looked at Kuhichi questioningly. Kuhichi continued. Once I understand my role in the script, I become that character. I'm no longer myself. If the character cries, I cry. If the character laughs, even if my family is grieving, I have to laugh genuinely. When I'm Nakbak, I don't find it difficult to act out a scene where I'm overwhelmed with desire for Lu Yu. And I think when Lu Yu is kissed by Nakbak, she would feel happy, not resistant. Coco suddenly realized something. She had assumed Kuhichi's carefree attitude meant acting was just a passing interest, and her success was mainly due to luck. She hadn't realized Kuhichi was so dedicated and insightful. Coco looked down. Maybe that's where I fall short. Kuhichi rose from the water, her figure sculpted and elegant. Soaking in hot water for too long could cause headaches. Looking at Coco, she said, "Let's get out." Coco obediently replied, "Okay." After they were both seated, Kuhichi began to praise Coco again. "Actually, you did very well." She extended a hand towards Coco, who looked at her quizzically. Kuhichi smiled seductively. "Let me do it. At least you seriously tried to address the issue. Not everyone can accept kissing their enemy. That requires a flexible mindset." Coco stammered. "We're not enemies, are we? Sometimes I just hate being compared to you." "I don't hate you." Kuhichi's hand paused mid-stroke as she dried her hair. Then she said softly, "So, Coco, would you like to try being friends with me?" And so, they became closer, discussing the script together. Coco reflected, "It seems like because we practiced that embarrassing, steamy scene, the number of times Kuhichi and I practiced kissing scenes gradually increased. The relationship between us has definitely softened. It's getting harder and harder to refuse her kindness." The filming went smoothly. Thankfully, the practice paid off. The initial awkwardness and difficulty with those challenging scenes had improved. Filming became much easier. Coco recalled the director's enthusiastic praise. "Finally, things are looking up. You two have been working so well together lately. The filming pressure was so high a few days ago. I specifically gave you two a 2-day break." Right there on set, the director repeatedly praised their acting. As the lead actress, Coco felt confident she could perform well in this film. "I didn't want to waste time. I wanted to take advantage of my good mood and speed up the filming process." But that was when she called her assistant, True Hat. Arrange a 4-hour slot for me tomorrow night. That's right. I want to attend that charity gala. I have to attend that charity gala. Consider it a bit of relaxation. The next day, at the charity gala, Coco wore a stunning blue evening gown, accompanied by her assistant, True. Suddenly, Coco froze as someone called her name. A group of reporters rushed towards her. True tried to intervene. "Excuse me, reporters, please step back a little." But they pressed forward, eager for information. "We heard your relationship with Kuhichi has improved significantly. Is that true?" Hearing this, Guhichi furrowed her brow. The reporters continued their barrage of questions. "We heard your relationship with Miss Ku has improved significantly. Is that true?" Faced with this onslaught, Guhichi gave a concise reply. "Kuhichi and I are excellent collaborators." Another reporter spoke up. "Miss Gu, according to a reliable source, the supporting actress role in the film Forgotten Crossing you're currently filming has been changed to Lam Min Lin." Hearing that green tea bitch's name irritated Guhichi. The reporters continued to press her relentlessly. "Why is Lam Min Lin playing the supporting role? Are Kuhichi and Lam Min Lin really connected through multiple lifetimes?" Many people in the industry speculate that Nin Kao single-handedly supports Kuhichi's boyfriend. What are your thoughts on this? Assistant Zhao intervened again. "Excuse me, we won't answer questions related to other artists." Guhichi discreetly slipped away. "Why do they always ask about Kuhichi?" she muttered. She pouted at the group of reporters. "Am I really not worth asking about?" A moment later, Assistant Zhao said, "I knew they would ask about Kuhichi. I warned you. You really didn't have to come to this charity gala. Why did you insist on attending?" Guhichi leaned in and replied, "Because of my cousin." Assistant Zhao asked, "The little girl with leukemia who was in a hospital last year?" Guhichi's face clouded over as she mentioned her cousin. "Yes, her dream is to get married and wear the wedding dress from Dong Kan's film, Azure Gown." Remembering the girl's frail appearance in the hospital, Guhichi felt a pang of sympathy. "That dress is being auctioned tonight," she said with a touch of sadness. "I have to get it for her." Assistant Zhao patted her shoulder comfortingly. "All right, I support you. I'll tell the manager." Guhichi replied softly, "Okay." A moment later, someone sat down beside her. Guhichi looked up in surprise. Duongdu. What a coincidence. Duongdu rested his chin on his hand, flashing a charming smile. "No coincidence at all. I specifically asked the organizers to seat me next to you." Guhichi gave him a strained smile. A moment later, she was surprised again by the sight of a familiar figure. It was Kuhichi. Guhichi's eyes widened in surprise. The surrounding crowd murmured excitedly, their gazes fixed on Kuhichi. Among them was our little fox. "She looks so beautiful tonight," Guhichi thought. Just then, a devastatingly handsome man named Nin Kao approached Kuhichi. A pang of jealousy shot through Guhichi. "He's just average looking," she huffed, "and he always wears black." Kuhichi, ever perceptive, spotted Guhichi. She turned and gave her a captivating look, making Guhichi blush. Flustered, Guhichi turned away. "And the reporters are all over Nin Kao," she thought. "Doesn't she know how to avoid suspicion? Maybe they really are a couple." Once everyone was settled, the MC began. "Thank you, distinguished guests, for joining us at tonight's charity gala. All proceeds from tonight's auction will be donated to charity." Nin Kao leaned close to Kuhichi. "Let me know if there's anything you want to buy." Kuhichi didn't reply. Duongdu cleared his throat from below. Nin Kao, aware of the situation, whispered, "Your heart belongs to Guhichi anyway." During the auction, the MC announced, "Next up for auction is this dress. This is the bridal gown, worn by 3-time Best Actress Dong Kan in the film Azure Gown. She has generously donated it to us." The camera zoomed in on the dress. The MC continued, "The starting bid is 30,000 NDT. Guhichi excitedly raised her paddle, her heart fluttering. It's just a costume from a film, she thought. It doesn't have much significance or lasting value like those jade pendants and paintings. Surely no one will bid against me. The MC asked, "Miss Guhichi, what is your bid?" Guhichi calmly held up 5 fingers. The MC announced, 50,000 NDT. Miss Guhichi has bid 50,000 NDT for this item. Is there anyone else offering a higher price than Miss Gu's 50,000? 50,000 going once, 50,000 going twice. The cameraman then swung towards Nin Kao. The MC excitedly announced, "Mr. Nin, you've raised your paddle. May I ask how much you're willing to bid for Miss Dong Kan's wedding dress?" The wealthy and handsome Mr. Nin Kao bids 1 million. The surrounding crowd gasped. What? Did I hear that right? Mr. Ninkao is bidding 1 million yuan for this dress. A dress with a starting price of 30,000 is now at 1 million? He's really living up to his reputation as a wealthy spender. He must be swimming in money. Ku Hichi, sitting nearby, frowned. What are you doing? Xiao Jing wants that dress. Nin Kao replied nonchalantly. Xiao Ku, that's Dong Kan's dress. Hearing this, Ku Hichi mumbled he still remembers. Then she glanced surreptitiously at Gu Hichi. The MC's voice boomed. Are there any other bids? Gu Hichi hesitated. I really want to get that dress for my cousin, but at this price. Beside her, Duong Du spoke up. If Miss Gu likes this dress, I'll buy it for you. With that, the dashing Duong Du raised his paddle. The MC, seeing his signal for the number 2, stammered, Mr. Duong Du, are you bidding 2 million yuan? Needless to say, Duong Du's handsome face was projected onto the large screen. The MC, hearing the figure of 2 million, was already feeling dizzy. All right, Mr. Duong Du is bidding 2 million yuan for Dong Kan's wedding dress from the film. Is there anyone else in the hall willing to bid higher? The crowd buzzed with excitement. A dress worth 30,000 is now at 2 million. I think Duong Du is bidding for Gu Hichi. At this point, both of our main characters were lost in their own thoughts. The excitement in the hall reached fever pitch. The noisy chatter intensified as the bid reached 2 million. Surely no one will bid any higher, right? Then, Nin Kao raised his paddle again. Seeing him hold up 3 fingers, the MC yelled, Mr. Nin Kao bids 3 million. Gu Hichi turned to Duong Du anxiously. Mr. Duong Du, this isn't that important to me. Let Mr. Nin Kao have it. Duong Du just smiled gently and calmly raised 5 fingers. The MC, by now possibly overwhelmed by the sheer amount of money being thrown around, announced 5 million. Mr. Duong Du bids 5 million yuan. Is there anyone in the hall who will bid higher? Suddenly, the MC yelled, 7 million. 7 million yuan. Mr. Nin Kao bids 7 million yuan. Is there anyone in the hall who will bid higher? Gu Hichi looked at Duong Du in a panic. Mr. Duong Du, I'm truly grateful, but this price is too high. Even if you offered it to me, I wouldn't accept it. Let's not compete anymore, okay? He maintained a cheerful smile throughout. It's all right. I'm happy that this money can be donated to charity. From the perspective of those in the hall, the two were acting very intimately. This excited the gossiping onlookers. Duong Du is bidding on this dress just to see the beauty smile. Someone agreed. Of course. Why else would a man like him buy a woman's dress? Ku Hichi, looking annoyed, turned to Assistant Lang. Didn't you say Duong Du had given up on pursuing Xiao Jing? Assistant Lang rubbed her forehead in exasperation. Duong Du's contract is almost up. I can't do anything about it. Ku Hichi watched their intimate interaction, a bitter taste in her mouth. The MC excitedly urged, 8,880,000 yuan. Mr. Zhongzhubi Damtiu Damjam Damwingin Yuan. Is there anyone in the hall who will bid higher? 8,880,000 yuan going once. 8,880,000 yuan going twice. 8,880,000 yuan going THR. Suddenly, another paddle went up. Nin Kao frowned, looking at Ku Hichi. So, you're making a move now, huh? Seeing her hold up 1 finger, the MC announced, It seems Miss Ku Hichi is also interested in the dress worn by the award-winning Dong Kan. Miss Ku Hichi bids 10 million yuan. Is there anyone who'll bid higher? The crowd erupted in excited chatter. What's so special about this dress that they're fighting over it so fiercely? Nin Kao and Ku Hichi's relationship really is something special. I think Ku Hichi is bidding to save face for Nin Kao. Actually, it's Gu Hichi who wants to buy the dress, right? It's obvious Duong Du is trying to win her favor. But I heard that after Gu Hichi filmed with Ku Hichi, their relationship eased up a bit. Why is she now fighting with Gu Hichi over this dress? They're practically at each other's throats. The whispers swirling around her caused Gu Hichi to sink into deep thought. And now, Ku Hichi is jumping in too? Didn't she say we were friends? Was that all just a lie? Lost in her thoughts, she turned back to Duong Du with a forced smile. Mr. Duong, I really don't need this dress anymore. Please don't compete with them. They both treat money like it's nothing. There's no need to get into a bidding war with them. But the dashing Duong Du refused. I told you I'm going to give you this dress. He then raised his paddle. The MC yelled, 12 million NDT. Gu Hichi silently prayed. Ku Hichi, please let this end. Don't bid anymore. But her hopes were dashed. The MC once again announced, Miss Ku bids 10,880,000 NDT. The auction had reached reached a fever pitch, the excitement practically radiating from the room. Suddenly, Gu Hichi reached out and grabbed Duong-du's hand, covering his paddle. "Don't bid anymore." The MC spoke up. "Mr. Duong, are you still bidding?" Gu Hichi shook her head emphatically. The MC began the countdown. 10,880,000 NDT going once. 10,880,000 NDT going twice. The gavel fell. 10,880,000 NDT. Sold. Congratulations to Miss Gu Hichi for winning the wedding dress from the film Blue Gown worn by actress Dong Kan. Gu Hichi stood up, looking uncomfortable as she spoke to Duong-du. "I'm feeling a bit unwell. Excuse me." With that, she walked alone towards the exit. The crowd surrounded Gu Hichi, showering her with congratulations. "Congratulations, Miss Gu. You won the dress. You're so impressive." Gu Hichi glanced back, her lips pressed together in a thin line as she watched Gu Hichi. "Gu Hichi, who are you really?" Gu Hichi, surrounded by well-wishers, looked towards Gu Hichi and silently mouthed, "Xiao Jing." A look of sadness and disappointment washed over her face. She too stood up and left the hall. Outside, Assistant Zhao questioned her sharply. "Why are you out here?" She quickly followed after Gu Hichi. "If you're going to participate, you can't just leave in the middle of the event." Assistant Zhao continued anxiously. "The company will have something to say about this." Gu Hichi ignored her and pressed the elevator button. Inside, Gu Hichi looked around, searching for Gu Hichi. Assistant Zhao called out, "Miss Gu, you're just in time. Please stop Xiao Jing. Director Zhao will kill me if she leaves." Hearing Gu Hichi's name, Gu Hichi walked away quickly. Gu Hichi hurried after her. She quickly caught Gu Hichi's hand, her face etched with worry. She softly called out Xiao Jing. Gu Hichi turned around, her face tight with annoyance. Gu Hichi pressed Gu Hichi against the wall, her voice low and serious. "Xiao Jing, the party isn't over yet. Where are you going?" Gu Hichi pushed back defensively. "It's none of your business where I go." Gu Hichi's face fell. "All right, I won't ask where you're going. I just hope you don't leave now. If the press catches you, they'll tear you apart." Gu Hichi scoffed. "Being caught by the press would be better than watching you and your nin cow working together to steal something from someone else." She pushed Gu Hichi away. "Excuse me, Miss Gu." But Gu Hichi couldn't just let her go. She gripped Gu Hichi's hand tightly, her voice pleading. "Xiao Jing, it's not what you think. Nin Kao and I are just..." Before she could finish, Gu Hichi yanked her hand away, tears welling in her eyes. "I don't care what you and he are, but that dress was important to me. I know this is an auction. Everyone has the right to bid, but I just wanted that one thing. Why did you keep bidding?" Gu Hichi choked back a sob. "I thought you, at least, would have the professional courtesy to let me have it. But instead, you both kept pushing the price higher and higher until I couldn't afford it. Just because you have money, you can bully people like this? Is it that easy to be so cruel?" Gu Hichi looked at the heartbroken, sobbing woman before her with a pang of remorse. Then, Gu Hichi softened her voice, trying to soothe Gu Hichi. "Xiao Jing, listen to me. I didn't try to snatch that dress from you. I just didn't want Duong-du to buy it and give it to you." Hearing this, Gu Hichi's anger flared. "Enough. What kind of power does Duong-du have that a superstar like you and Nin Kao would target him? I actually believed you when you said you wanted to be friends with me while filming. I was such a fool to believe your words. You haven't changed one bit. You steal everything I want. I hate how you pretend to be nice to my face. Is it that fun to play with me?" Gu Hichi, worried, gripped Gu Hichi's hand tightly. "Xiao Jing, I didn't..." Gu Hichi, truly blinded by rage, spat out cruel words. "I don't want to hear another word from you. You're disgusting." Gu Hichi froze, her eyes filled with despair as she looked at Gu Hichi. Only after the words left her mouth did Gu Hichi realize how harsh they were. Even though she was angry, she knew she had gone too far. She looked at Gu Hichi, guilt washing over her. Then, she was shoved forcefully against the wall by Gu Hichi, who glared at her silently. Suddenly, Gu Hichi kissed her. The unexpected action stunned Gu Hichi, leaving her mind blank. She immediately started pushing Gu Hichi away. "Gu Hichi, are you crazy?" Without hesitation, she slapped Gu Hichi hard across the face, snapping her out of it. Gu Hichi recoiled, her expression pained. Distressed and humiliated, Gu Hichi quickly turned and fled. Gu Hichi was left alone, filled with self-reproach. "I really am crazy. When I heard you say the word disgusting, I suddenly felt terrified. I just wanted to stop you from saying anything else. I really wanted to keep you here, but I ruined everything. High above, in the night sky, a plane soared steadily forward. Kuhichi sat sadly, staring out the window. Assistant Lang spoke up. Have you seen the news today? Kuhichi turned, questioning. What is it? Assistant Lang handed her a phone. Her face paled. Yu Zheng. The phone screen displayed a barrage of criticism. Plastic surgery, sleeping her way to the top, manipulative actress, no morals. And the target of all this vitriol was Guhichi. At the top was a post. Yu Zheng reveals the elderly person Guhichi ignored. Assistant Lang anxiously explained. Yu Zheng accepted an interview and proactively revealed Guhichi's past relationship. He even said the reason for their breakup was because he couldn't stand her indifference when she ignored an elderly person who fell on the street. Today, he released news about seeing an elderly person fall and how passersby ignored them. Now, Guhichi has become the epitome of heartlessness in showbiz. The malicious comments from netizens are skyrocketing, and many major media outlets are publishing articles unfavorable to Guhichi. Guhichi looked at her and said, "Contact Yu Zheng. Whatever he wants, we'll give it to him." Assistant Lang looked troubled. Do I even need to say it? As soon as I saw the news, I called him. But he's being vague about the details regarding Guhichi. When pressed, he just says it's a private matter, but that everything he said is true. Guhichi began to think. It's a good thing she's on a plane right now. She probably won't see this and get upset. There's still time to resolve this. She looked at Assistant Lang and instructed, use our connections. If we need to spend money, spend it. Control public opinion. These things can't be a coincidence. Someone is using Yu Zheng to target Xiao Jing. Assistant Lang replied, I think so too. The important thing is, who is that person? Guhichi furrowed her brow, deep in thought. A few days later, on the film set, director Kwong called cut with annoyance. He looked at Guhichi reproachfully. Guhichi, can you please focus when you're acting? You're distracted. Do you realize that? Guhichi looked at the director with a heavy heart. I'm sorry, Director Kwong. He didn't pressure her further. Well, are you affected by the media? All right, I'll give you a day off. Rest, and we'll talk later. Guhichi was surprised, silently protesting that it wasn't actually because of that. While everyone else bustled about, preparing to leave for the day, Guhichi stood hunched over, lost in thought. She recalled the moment Guhichi kissed her. Why did she kiss me? Thinking about it, she touched her lips, her face flushing. Was that some kind of twisted revenge? Just then, Xiaoan called out from behind her, Sister Xiao Jing. Xiaoan approached cautiously. Sister Xiao Jing, I know the media has been spreading a lot of false rumors about you lately. Please don't pay attention to them. It's not worth affecting the filming because of this. Guhichi forced a cheerful reply. Thank you, Xiao. I know. Xiaoan spoke hesitantly. Please don't be so formal, Sister Xiao Jing. Actually, I feel very indignant for you. Although Yu Zheng is my senior, Guhichi lowered her head, not responding. Then she looked up at Xiaoan and asked, Xiaoan, do you know about lesbians? Xiaoan blushed and replied, yes, then scratched her head awkwardly. Well, I've only heard that there are quite a few lesbians in the entertainment industry. Guhichi hesitated, then said, so, what do you think about Guhichi? Xiaoan looked surprised. Guhichi? You mean her? Guhichi nodded. Xiaoan said seriously, isn't Guhichi dating Nin Kao? She trailed off, then continued, but I've only heard rumors. As for whether she's a lesbian or not, Guhichi treats everyone well. I think there must be girls who like her, but whether she likes them back is hard to say. Hearing this, Guhichi dejectedly lowered her head. Is that so? Then she smiled and said goodbye to Xiao and thank you. While waiting at a red light, the car radio announced, famous actress Guhichi embroiled in consecutive scandals. Hearing this, Assistant Yu, Guhichi's caretaker and fan, quickly turned it off. Then she looked at Guhichi tentatively. At that moment, Guhichi's mind was filled with images of Guhichi. Every word Guhichi had spoken seemed etched into her heart. I don't like women. The more she recalled, the more her heart ached. Come to think of it, she did say she doesn't like women. Wait, why am I even thinking about this? Guhichi blushed, lost in thought. Just then, Assistant Yu spoke up. Sorry, Xiao Jing, I forgot to turn off the radio. Guhichi asked, confused, what? Her phone rang. It was an unknown number. She answered the call. The voice on the other end said, Guhichi, I want to talk to you. 7 o'clock tonight. Let's meet at Lamvu, okay? Guhichi felt a strange familiarity with the voice. Then she said, is this Lam Min Lin? The voice replied, that's right. 7 o'clock tonight. We're not leaving until we meet. Then the caller abruptly hung up. Guhichi put down her phone, bewildered. But I didn't agree. agree to anything. This girl is really high-handed. She turned to her assistant and asked, "What do you think Lam Min Lin wants to talk about?" "Assistant," you replied calmly. An exchange of feelings. Gu Hichi looked at her phone, hesitant. "Well, I'll go and see what she wants." Time quickly passed. At Lam Vu, Gu Hichi stepped off the plane. "Xiao Jing, where are you?" Gu Hichi's phone was ringing incessantly, but the surrounding noise was too loud for her to hear Gu Hichi's frantic voice on the other end. "Pick up, please." Inside the restaurant, a waiter approached and asked, "Excuse me, are you Miss Gu?" Gu Hichi replied softly, "Yes." The waiter continued, "Miss Lam has been waiting for a long time." He gestured warmly. "Please follow me." He opened the door smoothly and bowed. "This way, please." Lam Min Lin brightened when she saw Gu Hichi. "Miss Gu, you're here. Please have a seat." Gu Hichi spoke politely. "I'm so sorry I'm late." Lam Min Lin replied, "It doesn't matter. I've always been a straightforward person. I have a few things I want to say directly to you. I want you to leave Hua No International and the film Vong Shuyan and join Tin Hoa Quang Entertainment." Gu Hichi looked at her in surprise. "Ting Guan In De Den. Isn't that the entertainment company under Lam Corp? It's quite influential in the industry." Lam Min Lin continued, "I not only guarantee you'll become Tin Quang's #1 star, but I can also guarantee you the lead role in the film Tra Thuong Tuet. As long as nothing else goes wrong, the Best Actress Award next year will definitely be yours." Just then, Gu Hichi took out her vibrating phone from her bag and hesitated when she saw the caller ID. "Gu Hichi, why is she calling me so many times?" Lam Min Lin also noticed something was amiss. She spoke in a serious tone. "Miss Gu, are you listening to me?" Gu Hichi responded awkwardly. Lam Min Lin's offer was tempting. But as Lam Min Lin continued to speak, Gu Hichi muted her phone. "I don't have any particular talent that warrants such a generous offer from you, Miss Lam. Could you tell me your true intentions?" Lam Min Lin demurred. "What intentions could I possibly have?" She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear and looked at Gu Hichi. "I simply appreciate talent. It would be a shame for your acting skills to go to waste. With just a little help, becoming an A-list celebrity wouldn't be difficult at all. It would be beneficial for both of us. Why not?" Gu Hichi, however, was preoccupied with her phone, her attention elsewhere. She glanced at the screen hesitantly. Her mind raced. "If I don't answer, she'll probably keep calling." Finally, she spoke. "Excuse me, Miss Lam. I need to take this call." "Of course," Lam Min Lin replied graciously, watching Gu Hichi walk towards the door with a friendly smile. As soon as Gu Hichi was out of earshot, Lam Min Lin's expression changed. A true actress, changing faces faster than flipping a pancake. She slipped something into Gu Hichi's wine glass. Outside, Gu Hichi answered the phone, a hint of annoyance in her voice. "Gu Hichi, why have you called me 10 times tonight? Is there something important?" Meanwhile, a luxury car sped down the road. Inside, Gu Hichi spoke anxiously. "Xiao Jing, did Lam Min Lin ask you to meet?" Gu Hichi was surprised. "How did you know?" Gu Hichi's voice was urgent. "It doesn't matter. Listen to me. No matter what she says, just ignore her. Don't agree to anything." Gu Hichi bristled. "Are you and she close or something?" Gu Hichi sounded uneasy. "Just trust me on this. I won't hurt you." Gu Hichi paused, thinking. She recalled the auction. Gu Hichi's alluring presence, her provocative lean. Gu Hichi frowned. "Forget it, Gu Hichi. I can handle my own affairs. I don't need anyone telling me what to do." Gu Hichi's voice was frantic. "Xiao Jing, please don't be reckless. You can hate me, but please believe me on this. Don't stay with her for too long. If you can leave now, please." Gu Hichi hesitated. Gu Hichi's urgency, her genuine concern, even the slight pleading in her voice, it gave Gu Hichi pause. But she remained defiant. "I can handle this myself. Thank you for your concern, Gu Hichi. Goodbye." Gu Hichi hung up, clutching her phone to her chest. "This time, I'll listen to her." She quickly returned to the room. "I'm so sorry, Miss Lam, but I have to leave." Lam Min Lin responded smoothly. "Why don't you look over the contract first? Everything I promised is in there. If I violate any terms, I'll compensate you for all losses." Gu Hichi remained firm. "I've been with Hua No International for years. They've treated me well. I have no intention of leaving anytime soon. Thank you for the offer, Miss Lam." "Lam Ming Ling Min Dai Hufendis My. That's all right. If business doesn't work out, we can still be friends." She raised a glass of drug wine. "I'd like to toast you, Miss Gu." If you change your mind, you can contact me anytime. I've waited this long for you. Surely you won't leave without even having a drink with me. Gu Hichi looked at the glass, considering. She has a point. It's just a glass of wine. Our naive Gu Hichi took the glass and even smiled brightly at the scheming Lam Min Lin. Cheers, Miss Lam. She drained the glass in one gulp. Lam Min Lin watched her, a sinister smile playing on her lips. The moment the wine went down, Gu Hichi felt dizzy. What is this? Her vision blurred, her body weakening. Seeing Gu Hichi's state, Lam Min Lin feigned concern. Oh dear, I forgot to warn you. Gu Hichi looked at her, her eyes unfocused. Lam Min Lin shuai widen. It's wine, yes, but quite strong. Drinking it so quickly, it's no wonder you're feeling its effects. Gu Hichi could barely stay conscious. Gu Hichi clutched her head, feeling the nausea and disorientation of the potent wine. I should have sipped it slowly. I need to call someone to pick me up. As she fumbled for her phone, the door suddenly opened. Two women, dressed provocatively, entered the room. Through Gu Hichi's blurred vision, they slowly approached. The two women, like seductive vipers, began to coil around Gu Hichi. They swayed and whispered, "We'll take good care of you, Miss Gu. We have everything here. We'll make you feel so comfortable. How about a nice bath and a full-body massage?" Gu Hichi weakly protested, "No, thank you. I don't need anything. I want to go home." The women clung to her, refusing to let go. "Let us help you undress. Don't be shy." Gu Hichi struggled, her discomfort growing. "I said I don't need it." Gu Hichi trembled, her body weakening despite her efforts to push them away. "I want to push them off, but my body feels like jelly." She gritted her teeth in frustration. "What do I do? Someone please help me." Suddenly, the door burst open. Gu Hichi, her knight in shining armor, had arrived. Whatever vipers or demons these women were, they paled in comparison to Gu Hichi's presence. By now, Gu Hichi had lost consciousness. Gu Hichi's eyes immediately landed on the camera in the corner of the room. She rushed to Gu Hichi's side. Using such despicable tactics, exploiting others with these kinds of methods. Ating Guang Antimen. Miss Lam Min Lin, has your company always operated this way? Lam Min Lin, watching the scene unfold on her monitor, couldn't hide her surprise. I didn't expect Gu Hichi to be so calm. Gu Hichi approached the two women, her voice controlled. "Please leave." The two women, now flustered, scurried out of the room. Gu Hichi gently draped her coat over Gu Hichi and whispered, "Xiao Jing, I'm here. I'm late, but thankfully nothing serious happened." She stood up and looked at Gu Hichi. "I'll take you back later." Moments later, Lam Min Lin's door opened. Gu Hichi's voice was sharp with anger. "Lam Min Lin, why go to such lengths to bring Gu Hichi to Tin Kwang Entertainment? Lam Min Lin zet pondewit sacharin swintens. Who told her to keep hovering around you?" Gu Hichi frowned, her annoyance evident. "My relationship with you has nothing to do with Xiao Jing," she said, her patience wearing thin. "She's worked hard to get where she is today. Don't harm her." Lam Min Lin, if you cross someone's boundaries, you'll suffer the consequences yourself. Lam Min Lin slammed her hand on the table. "If you consider her your boundary, then congratulations, you've successfully angered me." Gu Hichi, unwilling to engage with such irrationality, turned to leave. "You're not the only one who knows how to play games, Lam. Someone will bear your wrath, but it certainly won't be me." Gu Hichi slammed the door shut, leaving Lam Min Lin seething with rage. Gu Hichi carefully helped Gu Hichi out of the room, her gaze filled with concern. She turned to Assistant Lang, a hint of apology in her voice. "I'm so sorry to drag you out here in the middle of the night." Assistant Lang replied calmly, "Coordinating with your schedule is my job." Gu Hichi was now settled in the car. Gu Hichi spoke, "Let's go back to the hotel." She then got into the car, and the door closed behind her. Assistant Lang, behind the wheel, replied, "All right." In the back seat, Gu Hichi remained unconscious, leaning against Gu Hichi. Gu Hichi cupped Gu Hichi's face, her voice soothing. "Xiao Jing, you're safe now. Don't be afraid." Feeling the warmth of Gu Hichi's hands, Gu Hichi instinctively leaned closer. They quickly arrived back at the hotel. Gu Hichi, ever attentive, began to fuss over Gu Hichi. "Xiao Jing, let me help you out of these clothes. This dress is too uncomfortable to sleep in." Gu Hichi shook her head in refusal. Gu Hichi sighed, a slight frown creasing her brow. She then pulled Gu Hichi into her arms. "It's me, Gu Hichi. You're not with Lam Min Lin. I'm just going to help you change into something more comfortable so you can sleep better." "Okay." Gu Hichi softly murmured, "Gu." Gu Hichi responded tenderly, "I'm here. I'm Kuhichi. Hearing that name, a name etched deep within her heart, brought a sense of comfort to Guhichi. Kuhichi gently helped Guhichi sit up. Guhichi, not quite coherent, clung to Kuhichi, momentarily stunning the CEO. Guhichi nuzzled her face against Kuhichi's neck, causing a blush to creep up Kuhichi's cheeks. Looking at Guhichi's vulnerable state, Kuhichi said, I'm going to undress you now. Layer by layer, Guhichi's clothes were swiftly removed. The garments slid smoothly down Guhichi's slender hips. The air between them thickened, their breaths coming faster, their bodies radiating heat. Their eyes locked, burning with intensity. Their faces flushed, their lips soft and inviting. They gazed at each other, captivated. Then Guhichi leaned in. She moved closer to Kuhichi, making the CEO's heart pound. She's not pushing me away? But Kuhichi, regaining control, gently pushed Guhichi back. Guhichi reached out, as if grasping for her. Kuhichi deftly untied Guhichi's dress. Sensing this, Guhichi instinctively tried to resist. Kuhichi chuckled softly, finding Guhichi's actions endearing. She reached out and touched Guhichi's lips, murmuring, so drunk, yet you still know what you want? Do you think I'm Lam Min Lin? With that thought, she grasped Guhichi's shoulders reassuringly. I'm Kuhichi. I won't hurt you. I need to help you change. Don't resist, and don't cling to me like that, understand? Guhichi nodded obediently. Kuhichi continued undressing her. Such a good girl. By now, Kuhichi's body was burning with desire. Yet, she suppressed her urges and continued to help Guhichi change. Guhichi lay comfortably in bed. Kuhichi tucked her in. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. Reluctantly, Kuhichi turned to leave, glancing back one last time. She gently switched off the light and left the room. Guhichi slept soundly. Suddenly, Guhichi's brow furrowed in discomfort. She was dreaming of Lam Min Lin. Fragments of the night rushed back to her. She thrashed in her sleep, muttering no. She bolted upright, crying out, stop. Her eyes darted around the room. Then she smoothed her hair. Last night, it wasn't a dream. It was Kuhichi who helped me. She kept calling, warning me to stay away from Lam Min Lin. If I had listened to her, if I had just left, none of this would have happened. But why would Lam Min Lin do this to me? Should I thank Kuhichi? She sighed, feeling lost. But I still don't understand what her intentions are towards me. Her phone rang. Lam Min Lin again? How dare she call me? But maybe I should ask Kuhichi for advice. Guhichi decided to go and find Kuhichi. Halfway down the corridor, she stopped. No, Lam Min Lin keep galing. Kuhichi knows her better than I do. She'll know what to do. This is for my own good. She knocked on Kuhichi's door. Is Kuhichi even in her room? The door opened. Kuhichi looked at her in surprise. Xiao Jing, what are you doing here? Guhichi held up her phone, showing the incoming call from Lam Min Lin. Lam Min Lin keeps calling me. I feel like you understand her better than I do. Can you tell me what I should do? Kuhichi stepped aside. Come in. After closing the door, Kuhichi walked over to a chair. Guhichi spoke. Have you known Lam Min Lin for a long time? Kuhichi sat down. Yes. Guhichi nodded. I should have listened to you yesterday. I'm sorry for what I said. Kuhichi smiled. I know you disliked me, so you didn't listen. I should have asked someone else to call you. Guhichi blushed, feeling slightly embarrassed at having her thoughts exposed. Kuhichi took her hand reassuringly. I'm just teasing. Don't take it seriously. Looking at Kuhichi's hand holding hers, Guhichi hesitated. You, she started but then stopped. Kuhichi, as if understanding her young companion's thoughts, leaned in close and whispered, what do you want to ask? Guhichi, her eyes wide, blurted out, Are you gay? Hearing this, Kuhichi froze, her pupils contracting. Guhichi looked up at her innocently and asked again, Tell me, are you gay? Guhichi repeated once more, Are you a lesbian? Kuhichi lied, Of course not. Otherwise, I wouldn't have rejected Lam Min Lin. Hearing this, Guhichi fell silent, observing Kuhichi's expression thoughtfully. Xiao Jing is a person of strong principles and boundaries. If she discovers my sexual orientation, she'll definitely keep her distance. Besides, I'm not lying to her. I'm only attracted to her. Thinking this, she looked at Guhichi, who was lost in thought. Guhichi then spoke, You don't have to lie to me. Kuhichi gave a model smile and replied, That's right. Guhichi sighed, It's good if you're not. I don't accept homosexuality right now. Each word felt like a stab to Kuhichi's heart. Guhichi continued, Actually, I cherish our relationship, the time we've spent together. Gu-Hichi trembled involuntarily. She cherishes our relationship? Then, Gu-Hichi frowned sadly. She means as friends. After all the effort it took to become her friend, now it's bound by the word friend. How could I bear to destroy a relationship she cherishes? Gu-Hichi looked away, embarrassed. Why didn't you say anything during the auction? I was too agitated to say those things. You must be angry. Gu-Hichi replied with a smile. Not at all. Don't overthink it. Just talk to me if anything's bothering you. If you agree, I'll always be your good friend. Gu-Hichi then said, It's strange. Lam Min-lin kept calling me when I was alone in my room, but she hasn't called since I came here. Finishing her sentence, she stood up. If she doesn't call, I won't waste any more of your time. I'll go back now. Gu-Hichi said, Wait. I understand Lam Min-lin. She won't give up. I think you should sleep in my room tonight. If she calls later, let me talk to her. If she comes here, you won't be alone. Gu-Hichi finished, her voice softer. Gu-Hichi frowned silently, not answering. Seeing this, Gu-Hichi softly added, Of course I'll sleep on the sofa. A moment later, Gu-Hichi murmured, Xiao Jing, would you mind? I need to get my pajamas. Gu-Hichi readily agreed. She has so many clothes, and they're all new designs. So beautiful. But that outfit. Just then, Gu-Hichi returned. Gu-Hichi asked, Why do you have Don Con stage costume? Gu-Hichi replied, I bought it. Of course, it's with me. Gu-Hichi asked, puzzled. But isn't that what Nin Kao wanted? Gu-Hichi touched the garment and replied casually, Nin Kao and I aren't dating. I bid on this outfit because I wanted to give it to you, but I didn't expect things to turn out this way. Gu-Hichi stared at her, lost in thought. Is she telling the truth or lying? Did I misunderstand her? Gu-Hichi took the garment down. I was planning to talk to you about this, and now you've asked. She offered it to Gu-Hichi. I'll give this to you. Gu-Hichi stared at the dress, mesmerized. Gu-Hichi asked, puzzled, What's wrong? Don't you want it? Gu-Hichi hesitated, then replied, I do, remembering the image of her cousin in the hospital. Then she stammered, It's just, I never thought you'd be so kind to me. Gu-Hichi smiled at her. So, you finally admit that I don't have any malicious intentions towards you, right? Gu-Hichi replied shyly, more or less. Hearing this, Gu-Hichi affectionately pinched Gu-Hichi's cheek. Gu-Hichi, embarrassed, asked, What are you doing? Gu-Hichi replied honestly, collecting the reward I deserve. Then, with a playful wink, she pinched her cheek again. A little extra for the price of the outfit. Now, I've seen your pajamas. Get some rest. Gu-Hichi stared at her, captivated. Only when the door closed did Gu-Hichi snap out of her daze, blushing as she climbed into bed. Resting her arm on her forehead, she sighed. What a vixen. The moon had now reached its zenith. Gu-Hichi tossed and turned, unable to sleep. She then got out of bed and paced around the room. Suddenly, Gu-Hichi stopped pacing. She felt a pang of sympathy for Gu-Hichi, asleep on the sofa. She's lying there so uncomfortably. A frown creased her brow. Can she even sleep like that? She reached out and softly called, Gu-Hichi. Gently, she touched Gu-Hichi's shoulder. Gu-Hichi, in a reflex, grabbed her hand. Gu-Hichi was pulled down, landing on top of Gu-Hichi. Their eyes met and held. In a low voice, Gu-Hichi asked, Are you awake? Why are you looking at me like that? Did I startle you? Gu-Hichi hesitated. No, I thought it was nothing. She reluctantly released Gu-Hichi's hand. I thought it was a dream. Why else would you be in my room? A look of infatuation crossed her face as she gazed at Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi, flustered, averted her gaze. Go back to sleep. It's late. Lam Min-lin hasn't called me. I don't think she'll look for me anymore. I'm going back to my room. Gu-Hichi wasn't about to let her go so easily. She sat up. It's so late. Why go back now? Just sleep in a bed. I'm fine here. Gu-Hichi's heart fluttered. After a moment, she reluctantly agreed. All right, let's sleep on the bed. It's big enough anyway. I won't mind. Gu-Hichi could hardly believe her ears. Did she really just say that? She wasn't just being polite? Looking at Gu-Hichi's sincere expression, all doubt vanished. In less than 90 seconds, Gu-Hichi was settled in the bed. She moved with surprising speed. A moment later, Gu-Hichi patted the bed. Come on up. Gu-Hichi's eyes, fixed on Gu-Hichi, seemed to want to memorize every detail of her face. Softly, she replied, Okay. She quickly climbed into bed. Gu-Hichi, who had been tossing and turning just moments before, now yawned sleepily. I'm so sleepy. I'm going to sleep now. And just like that, she was out. Gu-Hichi fell asleep, leaving Gu-Hichi in a dreamy haze. It's like a dream. Gu-Hichi, filled with happiness, lay beside Gu-Hichi. Good night, Xiao Jing. The next morning, Gu-Hichi wasn't greeted by the sunrise, but by her beloved. Good morning. Gu Hichi, still half asleep, mumbled, morning. Then, she sat up groggily. Jiku, I'm not filming today. Gu Hichi, who had been quietly reading the newspaper, folded it neatly. Gu Hichi rubbed her head. Jiku, do you have to film today? Gu Hichi paused, thinking. I don't have any scenes today. Gu Hichi's face lit up. That's great. There's a movie playing today at the Shanshu Huayuan Cinema, starring Jianzi and Xiao Ji. Do you want to go see it together? In the current film industry, there were no more than 10 superstars. Gu Hichi was considered one of them. Jianzi was fully deserving of the title of International Best Actress. It seemed that their CEO was experiencing a pang of jealousy. Xiao Jing always looked up to Jianzi as a role model. She never missed any of Jianzi's films. Seeing Gu Hichi's lack of enthusiasm, Gu Hichi felt confused. Seeing her almost lover's apparent disinterest, Gu Hichi was puzzled. She then blurted out, if you don't want to go, then forget it. Honestly, I don't really want to go with you either. Hearing this, Gu Hichi snapped out of a reverie. Xiao Jing, you misunderstood. I was just thinking about what time would be best to book the tickets. Gu Hichi replied, I want to go shopping this afternoon. Gu Hichi looked at her affectionately. Okay, let's watch it in the evening then. Gu Hichi hopped out of bed. I'm going back to my room to shower. See you later. Okay, I'll wait for you. Gu Hichi immediately called Director Kwong. Hello, Director Kwong. This is Gu Hichi. I'd like to take a day off from filming today. Could we reschedule my scenes? For tomorrow? I can work overtime then. He readily agreed. Oh, Xiao Ku. No problem at all. Thank you, Director Kwong. Goodbye. Now that Director Kwong had served his purpose, she hung up, ready to go see a movie with her beloved. She then texted Assistant Lang. Please buy 2 tickets for the movie at Shan Shu Huayuan Cinema. Gu Hichi's heart was already melting. Xiao Jing actually invited me out. I'm so excited. Time flew by, and evening arrived. The two made their way to the cinema, walking close together, laughing and chatting happily. Little Fox was finally starting to warm up to the CEO. Actually, Gu Hichi is a good friend, she mused. Maybe even better than Luong Ayuyu. Though absent, Ayuyu might have argued otherwise, unable to resist criticizing this friend who seemed to prioritize